to the second ever Hoops Temple live pod. There's a reason we don't do these live. For those of you who thought this was starting at 8 and not 8:02, we are a few moments delayed because my computer decided to restart randomly. But y'all know me, Nathan, joining me Sacramento, Aaron, Possible Chairs, and joining us from New Zealand, Dylan Williamson. Guys, how the hell is it going?
Hello.
Hey, Dylan.
How's it going?
Dylan has a professional setup.
Yeah, what's
going on here?
It would be if I was in frame. Let me.
There you're in frame.
Check it out. My TV is like. I wish. Can I just angle the entire computer? Oh, I'm on a screen. Never mind. Never mind. Imagine a computer, a TV right up here. You'll see my face change color.
All right. Well, we have Dallas on the clock already. Any thoughts about the presumptive number one Cooper Flagg? We want to take some bold predictions. Are we going to say anything about him potentially being the greatest thing ever? Dylan, what's your thoughts?
My thought is a question, which is how far back do you have to go to find a player with as few weaknesses as Cooper Flagg? Like, there's been a lot of elite draft prospects. Like, LeBron is obviously the standard. Since LeBron, can you think of anyone with as few weaknesses as Cooper Flagg?
I like the way that you phrase this with as few weaknesses, not quite as many strengths. Because I think I would much rather have Anthony Davis. I think there are a couple other guys who maybe came with more excitement. Like Zion definitely came in with more hype. That has not panned out as well. But as far as few weaknesses, would it be mean to say like Cade Cunningham? He's a pretty solid all-around guy. Like, I don't remember sitting here being like, Cade's got this weakness or that weakness.
It's the
that's probably a good shout.
So special, right? The defensive impact, is he the best defensive top prospect since, well, I guess Wemby, but in American college,
yeah, fucking Wemby,
since Davis, basically, since Anthony Davis. And I'll be honest, guys, when the Kings don't have a pick, I skimp out on my draft research. So in terms of actual draft content, that's going to land on the shoulders of you guys. I'm here for overreactions and vibe-based decision making, and to show off my Willis Reed nesting doll.
Oh my god!
There's another Willis Reed in there. You know what comes after that?
Is another Willis Reed?
Another. You know what comes after that?
Is it Walt Frazier?
No, there's nothing else in there.
Oh.
Idiots.
That would have been pretty cool if it was like the Knicks starting five, and it was like Willis Reed opens up to Dave DeBusschere, opens up to Bill Bradley, opens up to Dick Barnett, opens up to Walt Frazier.
Could have been. We have a question in the comments. Where does Ben Smart get drafted? You guys know? Tell us the script.
I mean, I've done the video on Ben Seraph. Dylan, have you done the Ben Seraph deep dives?
No, I didn't get as far as him. NBA Finals going 7 really takes away my drafting time.
It does. So the Ben Seraph, 6'5" combo guard or electric passer, but also the thing that I really liked about him was the hard-nosed defense, because we've got a couple of guys in this draft class. Igor Denham. What was the Michigan guy's name? Danny Wolf, who are these big, beautiful passers. And Seraph doesn't have quite as much height as those guys. Denham is 6'9", Wolf is 6'10", 6'11", but I like Seraph's defense a lot more than the other guys. And so if I'm going to take a guy who has maybe questionable scoring capabilities like that out of the three, at least having the defense is nice. He's currently mocked 27th through 35th, but I would take him a little bit higher. I'd go for the swings as early as the late 20s. Aaron, you're muted.
I'm not muted. You guys just aren't listening.
You don't want to hear what this man has to say.
No. Have we had a pick yet? What's going on? You guys are actually watching the live?
Yeah, I have it right now here. Let's listen to Stephen A. Smith. Oh God, never mind.
Turn him off. Turn him off. If for no
Nah,
other
he
reason
has
than
a
copyright
purpose.
infringement.
It's him and Bob Myers. They can't have copyright for audio.
Oh, can we please let a blockbuster trade bring Cooper home to New England? Guys, Boston's been on a fire sale. Who would have thought the market return for Kristaps Porzingis would be Gorgie Dang?
Gorgie Dang, is he back in the league?
He's in Boston.
No, that's
What?
George Niang and Gorgie
George-
Dang are two
Oh
different
my
people.
God.
Yeah.
It was a long day at work. I've had
Well, I mean, Kristaps it's an expiring contract and a player that's always hurt, and Boston has to get off that money. You get, I mean, I like Niang. I think he's a fine rotational player. I liked his minutes for Atlanta. Yeah, Boston's not going to contend next year, and they shed the two guys that would help them do that. But they saved like $200 million in salary. Yeah, he had to go. I agree.
yeah,
All right, the pick is
190 million.
Do you guys want me to turn the TV on when the pick is announced?
No, because
Why not?
they do
I want
copyright
your
infringement.
I want your narration and your analysis.
Yeah, can you do the voices too? Like your father reading a story time book to their children?
No, I
We're not gonna
want
get
your
copyright for the audio of it.
All right, what was the? Tell us who the pick was.
You're not
They
going to
haven't
believe
made
this.
it yet.
What do you mean? You said the pick was in.
Yeah, but the pick is in versus Adam Silver announcing it. Two different things.
Okay. All right, so we got he had to go. Who do you think the Pelicans are drafting? I really want JB to Houston for a Van Vliet Jabari. Amen. Yeah, no, that'd
Too
be
much
way
for
too
Jaylen
much.
Brown.
Yeah,
I mean, I'd like that too if I'm Boston.
I do. If Kyrie was healthy, then maybe you could talk yourself into some sort of Jaylen Brown to Dallas. Jaylen Brown plus other things to Dallas to really try to get Nico's, we're all in for a championship as opposed to waiting for the young guy to develop. But like, I don't think there's much chance of a blockbuster Cooper coming to New England.
Yeah, I think the more interesting one that would never happen is Jason Tatum for number one.
Ooh, wow.
Ooh.
Nah, I
Like
guess
if
I
you're
didn't really
really
consider that.
really gonna suck at Nico Harrison, that's the guy to do it.
I saw a tweet that was like, "I want Nico Harrison on the phone with Boston for these players." It's like you want Nico Harrison on the phone with Boston? No, you do not. It's a terrible idea.
Do you think they've got like the Mavericks ownership have like blocked certain phone numbers now? They're like, right, we're just not gonna let we're not gonna let the Lakers facility call in. We're not gonna let Danny Ainge call in. Like Brad
Nico
Stevens,
comes
no.
in, he's like, guys, I tried to call the Lakers. It wouldn't. The
I'm
line
just
went
getting
down. I'm
dial
like,
tone.
we'll get someone on that. We'll get someone on
I was trying to trade number one for
that.
for Austin Reeves.
for Austin Reeves and
And Hachimura. Reeves and Hachimura for number one. They wouldn't do it, guys. Like, someone connect me.
All right, Dank Memes is asking, who do you think the Pelicans should draft? Aaron, I know you have not done as much draft prep,
Not a
but
single second.
what type of guy would you want them to go for?
Man, I feel like they're in such a tough spot. Zion, they have a really great player in Zion, but he's never healthy. A Jordan Poole, DeJounte Murray backcourt. Guys, that's really bad. That's a really frightening. That's a frightening thing. But I love Trey Murphy and I love Herb Jones. Like, they have the pieces to be competitive. I couldn't even tell you. I wish I knew what kind of player the Pelicans need, but it's almost everything.
it's a unicorn, right? Like they need a center who can also shoot. And there's like three of those guys in the NBA. One of them just got traded for either Georges Niang or Gorgie Dang. The jury's still out on that one. And there's like no one in the draft that fits that. So like the best they can do, I mean, their biggest weakness is probably center, and so is
Do not take Malawa. He will be a
Malawa
Raptor.
at number 7.
Oh,
That seems like the pick. I know Jack was really high on him. As a
I can
sort
do
of
my vibes based
generational
analysis and tell you that
defensive,
guy's going to be a bust.
really.
Ooh,
I'll tell you right fucking now, guys. Like,
Don't
come
you
back to
dare.
me in a year and you're like, you were right about that guy. The pick was Cooper Flag. I know.
Shocker.
Shockwaves.
All right, does that mean San Antonio's now on the board?
Yes, I'm not going on Twitter. If
Oh.
there is a trade that happens, somebody tell me.
Actually, yeah. No, we got to wait 5 minutes for them to like make each pick.
Oh yeah, I'm prepared. I bust out the Tony.
How do you have a jersey from all 30 NBA teams?
I don't. I only have 10, and like 4 of them are Lakers jerseys.
Yeah,
Uh,
fair enough.
I was trying to figure out if I had swag for each of the teams to be able to like interchange
That would
this
be
out.
funny.
I don't.
Just every single pick. How good do you think Dallas can be next year? Do you think Kyrie's going to play?
No,
Probably not, right? AC, like it's a bad injury.
Not at
Such
all,
a
no.
stop and
Yeah.
start player.
yeah,
I think the timeline would have him back like by February. But the question, like, I think he will play. The question is, will he be able to play well? Will he be able to like be good? I think it's a lost season.
Yeah, and I mean, the
Davis inside
season is
should
gonna
a
be-
horrifying defensive thing. Sorry, don't go ahead.
you're right. The trajectory of the season will be decided before he gets back, and so
Mhm.
if like they're good enough for him to then add to that, then that's going to be one thing. But if the West is going to be ridiculous again next year, and if they're already starting out and they're 500 or below, then the season will be told before.
And Davis is the perfect player, the perfect shut it down player. You could find something wrong with him in a million different places and be like, his foot's bothering him, his hip's bothering him. He's not going to play the next 2 months and we're going to tank it out. It's totally possible. Dylan, are you going to keep this setup all the time? Because I feel like this really increases the production value.
Yeah, the one thing I might do is like maybe water my Peace Lily. Like that's kind of bringing down the whole ambience of the setup.
Yeah.
But other than that, yeah, I invested in a separate webcam so I could run it across the room.
That's
Nice.
I mean, it looks nice. You are like 15 feet away, but you
Hey, this is the this is the draft night. It's the beginning of many things. It's the beginning of my new setup into the NBA season. It'll refine, such as bringing the camera, 10 feet closer.
What was it YouTube or you had like a? When are you gonna start making content? I'm gonna harass you live on YouTube about this. When are you gonna start making content?
Maybe this will be the season.
Yeah, could be.
I
mean,
it.
I'm sure the people are burning for my takes as the number one presently uncontracted independent front office advisor in all of New Zealand.
What was it? The president of? I forget what your account name was.
President of Basketball Conversations, not Operations.
Yeah, man, what a fucking.
It's a solid name.
God,
All right, we got this. We got the Spurs on the clock here. Sure. Any chance they trade the pick? They're taking their sweet time.
The pick is in.
They're not taking their sweet time.
Have you guys refreshed Twitter?
I have not.
All right, give me. I'm not checking because if I see they're targeting, they're tickled by, they're interested in, they've had sweet wet dreams about this player. I'm quitting. I hate that stuff.
Boy's gonna come out of retirement to talk about Pop's wet dreams.
There was one draft at this point it was probably like 6 years ago, but it hurt me so bad because every single pick was ruined.
Yeah.
That's how I watched the draft. I don't know when the last time it was that I actually like live watched
the
draft.
No, it's a holiday for me. NFL draft too.
Oh no, it's just
9 o'clock on a weeknight.
I know. I was kind of iffy on being here because I was like, how am I going to sit on my ass and do nothing? It's like kind of my personal day. But you know what? I'm having a great time.
Hey, this is why I'm standing. I just drank a vodka Red Bull.
I thought about us getting drinks.
Dude, go grab one. It's not like we're going anywhere for a while. We'll be here.
I might as well.
For 2 goddamn hours. I don't know. I'm still big on the Spurs trading this pick, but trading
really?
it and
Is there a shortcut to mute
I'm
yourself?
not gonna lie, I'm out on a lot of the young guards in this draft. Like,
Ooh.
there's too
Interesting.
many too many guards in the top 14 in this. Like Harper, Trey Johnson, Fears. Oh gosh, I can never pronounce the guy from Illinois. His name, Capressis Jack. Yeah, not even. Just gonna fucking
Kasparis Jakusionis,
Jakusionis. It's
something
like
along those lines.
these guys don't all hit. They never all hit, and like just the history of it. What do you think's happening? I don't know, but I'm just saying I'm a little bit lower on Dylan Harper than I think a lot of the guys are. I think he drives and attacks like he's Cade Cunningham, but he has more of the passing vision of like a Dylan Booker, and I think that's a significant enough difference that like if you can't pass as well as Cade, and I don't think you're gonna be as efficient of the score as Jalen Brunson, like. I don't know. I'm seeing a lower ceiling than what it feels like a lot of people are.
Interesting. Well, you know who
Dylan
couldn't
Harper is
pass
the
as
pick.
well as Cade also? Well, there we go. It's in. I can't
Merrill
believe I'm.
Clark says, sorry, go ahead.
I can't believe I'm on a totally different day to you guys. I'm living on Thursday, and you still get the pick ahead of me. But on Harper's passing, do you know who else couldn't pass like Cade Cunningham around this age? It's Cade Cunningham. If like that's the comparison, then there's a pretty solid path forward as to how that kind of player develops. And I think one of the trends I think in the NBA is it's becoming more of a strength-based game, and players who have that body control and the ability to create separation using their body become a lot more valuable. And so like Cade Cunningham or James Harden become very good comparisons, and then the passing will just become the one skill. Like James Harden's one of the all-time great, pocket passes to a rolling big man of all time, and Cade Cunningham's developed into a very good playmaker beyond what I thought he could become. And so that's the one skill that's missing to become a really elite offensive driver.
I think Cade was still higher as a passer or back in the day. Like, I don't know. I am not in on what Harper does. When he gets the ball, he's going to dribble the shit out of it. And like, man, he would kick to Ace Bailey. Yeah,
I love it though, honestly though, because you can watch the draft and be like, "Oh, this guy's great," and dominated college because they all fucking did. And then you can, but looking back on any draft, there is going to be guys that suck. And if you're going to be the brave one that says they suck, Philly's on the clock. I was going to answer the quick question that Merrill Clark asked. What is Sacramento? What picks do they have? I think they have 42. They have the second rounder.
Is that going to change the trajectory of Zach LaVine's franchise?
Probably going to sell that for cash in a future second. Like every fucking year. Sorry. It's been a tumultuous draft season. I need a deep breath.
You need a vodka Red Bull?
I need a vodka Red Bull.
Get it.
All right, I'll be right back.
All right. Philly's on the clock. Like the presumptive number 3 pick for the longest time was Ace Bailey. He is famously threatened to not work out for anyone. He has dodged interviews, whatnot. Dylan, I know you didn't go super deep in the draft, but you at least had to have gotten to pick 3. Who do you think the 76ers should snag?
I think it'll still be Bailey. But here's like if there's anyone that's willing to be uncomfortable, it's Daryl Morey. Like this guy's made a career out of being like, no, I make the rules here. I don't care what you say. Like I'm the general manager, you're the player, you do what I say. And so I think if there's anyone that's willing to be uncomfortable, it's him. Where do you stand on Ace Bailey? In particular, my concern is, can you think of anyone who's like has anyone in the entire NBA who is an all-star who has like character concerns?
In the modern NBA or like past NBA? Wait, that's did you scrub Corona or Modelo? Looked like Modelo.
This is a Corona Sunbrew Citrus Cerveza. Sponsor me.
Interesting.
Drink responsibly. I am 24 years old. Do not drink if you're not 21.
Or in a
Unless you're in
different
New
country.
Can
Zealand.
you drink before that? Oh yeah, the rrest of the world is all 18. Huh?
Exactly.
Do you think
I
Ace
love
Bailey
Ace Bailey.
refusing to work out reflects? Do you think Ace Bailey refusing to work out reflects poorly or good on him? I've heard some people say that refusing to work out means he has that dog mentality.
Dog. The dog per 36, which is dog squared. I love Ace Bailey. I like how scouts or MVP will be like, maybe his shot selection will improve in the NBA. And every single time he's interviewed, he's like, I love taking bad shots. I work on bad shots. I will continue to take bad shots in game. It's like, I don't know, man. It seems like he's pretty dead set on it.
They're bad shots for you. They're not bad shots for me.
Exactly. I mean, you could see that and say, yeah, that's what made Kobe great. Kobe was great at bad shots. That's what made him such a dangerous scorer.
Yeah, that was a needed skill before spacing made there be a lot more good shots. You know, when everyone's crowding in the paint, you kind of have to be good at bad shots. Now that things are spaced, you don't. I do love Ace Bailey because I do see that early 2000s type of guy in him, and like irrationally, nostalgically, I love that. Honestly, though, the ceiling on those guys is not as high as it used to be. Having the skill set of a past generation in a normally isn't like what we're looking for. Like, you know, when you look at Janai Broom, you're like, oh yeah, he's got a great skill set for the early 2000s. He's got all that post work. Maybe he isn't the best.
What is Washington offering these guys? Because Alex Sarr tanked his way there, and it seems like Ace Bailey is doing the same thing. Like, what is Washington telling them that these other teams are just can't?
Chance to live in the nation's capital.
Is that a great place to be right now?
I mean, I will say I've been to DC. I love going to DC. I have a few friends who live and work in DC, and they have spoken incredibly highly of the city as far as like a cool place to be a young person. A lot of the like DC staffers for senators and representatives work hard during the day and party hard during the night. So like I can understand it being a fun place to live in your early 20s. That said, basketball wise, yeah, just a bunch of shots. On and off the court. That's the Ace Bailey. I don't know if I think it helps him have more or less dog. I'm somewhat indifferent, but like Amari Stoudemire did it to get to Phoenix. Kobe did it to get to the Hornets to trade him to LA. Like guys have done it and been
2
successful.
degrees of tanking.
Yeah.
Tanking your draft value. When can we fix like the draft pick trading stuff? How it's like can't be officially processed and they wear the wrong hats. Every other sport fixes this.
It's so bad.
Mm.
All right, Adam Silver. I think he's I'm gonna watch this.
Who do you think, Nate? Edgecombe at 3?
Yeah, I think Edgecombe.
Is that your pick? That's who you'd take?
I think it's who I'd take just from the upside play. But like, if you want to play it safe, Con Knipple, he offers you the like floor of Ace Bailey without as much of the ceiling. Like, you know, you're gonna a higher floor than what Ace Bailey could be, but not quite as much ceiling play.
All right,
skill set.
The first question mark of the night. Number 3, Philadelphia. Select.
VJ Edgecombe.
I didn't spoil that one for you guys. I guess I live in the future.
You're the one the most in the past, being in the West Coast.
Mm-hmm. And yet I'm all over. I have live TV. Now I'm watching the actual TV station.
Just tell us when the picks are in.
Okay.
All right.
You mean the pick? Okay, but when you say that, do you want me to announce the player that is picked?
Yeah.
Okay. Because when the pick is announced, 2 entirely different things.
Could you maybe bring up ChatGPT and ask it for 30 Adrian Wojnarowski euphemisms for who a team is taking?
I could come up with that, guys. I have a little bit of my frontal lobe left.
Okay.
All right. So VJ Edgecombe. Philadelphia,
he's
going to Philly. Damn.
my
Also,
vibes pick.
He's not a guy that I liked either.
See, I'm onto something.
what? You guys don't think he's got that dog in him?
I don't think he's got that dog. I think we're Why don't you like him? Because I don't like him because I'm taking guesses. But Dylan, why don't you like him?
Like lead guard who can't shoot that well. Like that's kind of scary.
Good point.
Also
When
struggles
he gets
to finish
packaged,
also struggles to finish in the rim over college length. Like the contested shots, pretty low percentage there. Going up against NBA level bigs could be even worse.
Yeah.
I really love what he could be defensively. I think there's going to have to be a hard pivot in his career from being a lead guard to being like a lead defender. And I think if you're getting Lou Dort with the number 3 pick, that's it's kind of a rough deal.
he's so much more athletic than Dort. I mean, he's just the frame's a little bit different.
Yeah,
But I get what
he's
you're
a
saying. I get what you're
bouncier.
saying.
He's got way more ups. Your guy Pablo called him the third Thompson twin.
Yeah, I could see that from what I know. All right, the Hornets are on the board. Historically, the Hornets will fuck this up. No matter what happens here, this player will not be good. And you can like that player. You can think he's the best college player in the nation. I'm telling you now, it's not that good. You have a question. Sammy asks, is Trey Murphy the third? All typed out. The third. Excellent. To the Nuggets, PJ and a role play realistic. I don't know what I think the contract is the only thing that makes you like wonder. But I'd say,
I mean, I've got 2 questions here.
yeah.
Do you want a Denver role player? Like, what is the Denver role player that the Pelicans want?
Fucking Zeke
I
Naji.
guess for the contracts, basically, could it be like?
Could you sign and trade DeAndre Jordan as part of that? Like,
DeAndre Jordan will not play for any other franchise other than other than the Nuggets at this point.
Yeah, I think. I mean, I Trey Murphy's better than Michael Porter Jr. in my opinion. So
yeah,
it is interesting because Michael Porter Jr.
And
had
younger
the
and more
worst
upside.
PR, the worst PR for any player that averaged like 18 points a game last season. Because I think he injured his shoulder, and then people basically wrote him off as terrible. But I think he's still pretty good. But I do think I really like Murphy.
I mean, I think MPJ has done a lot of it to himself. Like some of his quotes have been wild for the people who try to pay attention to the guys off the court, and then the on the court play with the not passing, with the shot happiness, and kind of the inability to create for himself. Like, I don't know if I've seen a guy more dependent on his star for his points and still be labeled like a scorer than MPJ.
He works so well though because he's so tall, with moving off ball.
Merrill Clark, I'm not reading that comment aloud, but
I'll read it aloud. Pelicans should sell everything with value and then rig the team playing to explode. We need a disaster draft. That's how the Pelicans can fix this.
Can we get Zion to the Pistons? That's what I'm on this offseason.
I think I'm in on Zion. I think this season, yeah, I was thinking my top 100, and I was like,
I'm ready to get hurt again.
I didn't get hurt last year, and then now I'm gonna undo my previous correct choice and get hurt.
You're ready.
The Hornets are milking the clock. Take it.
Yeah. Where did we where did Zion peak in our top 100? Like top 20?
Probably 17.
I could check. Somewhere around there.
Right.
That would have been a couple years ago.
Warning.
Still no pick. Top 100.
Then we can talk more Sixers.
And no.
What the hell are they? What the hell are they doing, Nate?
So
are they trying to win, or are they not trying to win? Why'd they just pick a guy that's gonna take 3 years to not be the worst player in the NBA? Like rookie point guards who can't shoot and finish and want the ball all the time. Like that's the single best way to be a bad team. And they've got 2 point guards already.
So Zion was 32nd last year.
Timelines are overrated, aren't they? Isn't that the new
You're gonna
new
you're gonna put your
vibes?
the number 3 overall pick going to the G League?
You know, like the Paul George timeline was probably like 3 or 4 years ago. The Embiid timeline should be now age-wise, but was probably 2 or 3 years ago. The Maxi timeline is kind of now, but also he'll probably get better in the next couple of years. Like, who knows what timelines even are for Philadelphia? I mean, maybe they want to be a above 500 team for the next decade, and they're trying to stagger out their good pieces. That way, that happens.
We had Zion 28th in 2024. It's interesting. Like, I think he was really good in 20. Like, he played like 70 games. We saw that and then went worse on him. And they were less impressed the next year somehow.
If the Seattle Supersonics and the Las Vegas Lovers, interesting name, we'll come back to that name, are added to the league next year, does the equity draft hurt better teams or worse teams?
Yeah, it does like the expansion draft.
Yeah. So I did some looking into this for the 90s, and it kind of just hurts everyone. It really depends on like how deep your team is, because you could be a like super top heavy team that's also not that good and not lose anyone, or you could be like a top heavy team that doesn't have a good ninth guy. Like the Lakers are not getting hurt by the expansion draft, and they're neither good nor bad.
Oh no, Jackson Hayes.
Yeah. The Thunder will be hurt
Pacers.
by it. Pacers will be hurt by it. But like Boston, I don't know, you could at this point, Luke Cornett. Ooh. Aaron?
Con Knipple.
Con Knipple at 4. Wow.
Huh. What do you guys think of that?
That is interesting. You know,
he's gonna be awful. Yeah, I'm out. I'm a way out. The Hornets reached on a guy. I'm so out.
I am ready to get hurt again from this regard. I have 2 rules. I have 3 rules in taking players in the top 8. Here's who I don't want: point guard who is like 6 foot or under, out. Big man who is unskilled, no thank you. And unathletic white guy. Now, I'm willing to break that rule for Con Knipple because I think he is a different kind of an athletic white guy. Firstly, I think he is more athletic than your Doug McDermott or that kind of player. I think he's a better defender than what that kind of guy will be, and I think his ball skills are actually going to could actually get to a level beyond the likes of Corey Kispert or JJ Redick, these kind of off-ball only players. This is a guy I think could actually, who I have seen in my limited flashes of watching him play, a guy who actually seems to have feel and a guy who could develop as an on-ball player. So I am willing to get hurt by breaking one of my only 3 rules in draft and believing in Con Knipple.
I have 2 things to say to that. One, I need a side-by-side of Adam Morrison holding up his Bobcats jersey next to Con Knipple holding up a Charlotte Hornets jersey.
Wow, you guys are both out?
And 2, I don't think he plays is for Charlotte. I'm calling it right now. This is my this may be my vodka Red Bull talking. There will be a trade in the next half an hour. I mean, it was a 20-ouncer. So.
I forgot to do my Woj. Like the Hornets are tantalized by Con Knipple. My bad, guys. Don't let me forget next time. Guys, the Hornets took a white dude. I'm out. He's not going to be good. I'm so sorry. That's as deep as my analysis has got to go.
And to respond to Sammy, when expansion teams are added, usually they can't win the lottery for the next 5 years. But instead of there being 30 first-round picks, there becomes 31 or 32, depending on how many like new teams are added. And their first year, they're like slotted in there at a certain spot. When the Bobcats showed up, they were given the number 2 pick, but they couldn't have number 1. When like the Orlando Magic showed up, they got like the 10th pick their first year, or the offseason they were founded. Then the next year it was just based off of records. So nothing too like.
That's why Vancouver died. Vancouver would have gotten Duncan, but they like couldn't have it basically.
Yeah, the man didn't want them to have it.
Interesting.
All right, I got all these little mini pennants. Don't have
Ah,
the Utah
nice.
Jazz ones.
I think at my bar mitzvah they put those on all the tables. I had like an NBA themed bar mitzvah. Kind
Mazel
of the peak
tov.
of
so
my
cool.
kind of the peak of my life, honestly.
All right, so we got Utah, and Utah now. The white guys are
You-
gone.
Yeah, they're borders and tatters.
Wow.
Do they just go Ace Bailey? Go for the highest prospect, or are
Do
they
you
going to
guys
go
know
for one
about
of the
like
guards?
the?
Could they reach for Danny Wolf?
I'd go for the Illinois guard.
Do you guys still have any Cody Williams stock? Statistically, the worst player of all time last year.
No.
Okay. All right.
Decline
It's
the
hard.
team option.
Listen, his brother's been slamming, or Jalen's been slamming the Shirley Temples. I believe that Cody is of the same make and mold. He's not touching a sip of alcohol until he wins the championship.
You know what? Okay, wait a second though. Do you guys know about it's like Sips, like the Mormon soda place because they don't drink caffeine in Utah.
I know that you can't buy like 5% beers in Utah. They like only sell 2.5%, but I don't know about sips.
Ugh.
So obviously, like I think it's called Sips, like the Utah in Mormonism, you don't drink caffeine or alcohol usually, and so they have like it's like a soda store. It's very popular. So hey, like he can have all the Shirley Temples he wants in Utah.
Yeah.
Clearly, you guys aren't keeping up with the Mormon Wives TV show, Secret Lives of Mormon Wives, and it shows. That's all right.
Aaron,
There's-
how much reality TV are
Well,
you watching?
that's Nate.
And
Nate,
mostly all of
that's
them.
why. That's why he couldn't do any draft prep because he was locked in on Mormon wives.
I was watching Love Island. I'm not prepping for the draft.
Do you have a take on Chris versus Pepe? Who's actually the better basketball player?
Chris is much better. Chris is better. I don't think Pepe's career is that legitimate. I mean, I
That's-
think he played, but from what I've seen, I think Chris like actually was good in college and good overseas. The Utah pick is in. on
Who are they
the
going for?
clock. Well, I don't know yet.
Who are they strongly edging over?
The Sixers. The Sixers
Edging
took a
towards,
guy
I
named.
mean.
Yeah. That would have been a good edge comb joke. They were edging towards.
Mm.
Oh,
I
can
don't
can
hate Trey
just...
Johnson.
Yeah, that's my pick. He's the last guy that I like in this range.
Puts up a high number of threes. Aaron,
Yeah.
you gonna tell us who they got?
It's not the pick. Okay, like the Utah submitted their pick, but Adam Silver's not
That-
up there.
They're hanging on Ace Bailey on the broadcast.
Ooh.
He doesn't look happy about it.
Can you imagine? You've
funny.
been trying to tank your way. You're like, let me get to DC, and it's Utah, and it's like, it's not really that much worse. And for him, apparently, it is. Whatever the commitment he had.
They're like,
And
we
if
need a
anyone,
Larry
like, would
Markkinen
not-
backup.
Mm. And if anyone like would not care about your complaining, it'd be Danny Ainge. He'd be
Maybe
like, I
thi-
don't care.
maybe
Here's
this
a
is the
5-year
trade.
contract extension.
Maybe we're gonna get the classic
Here
4 for
comes,
5 swap.
They're dragging this out, man.
I already found out on Twitter.
The Jazz are tantalized by Ace Bailey.
Oh my god!
Wow. Wow. All right.
What a I'm going back to my initial proposal. Lauri Markkinen and Ace Bailey for Dylan Harper.
Hmm.
And probably would have to be Vassell. Or you could do Johnson
Harrison Barnes,
and
Keldon
and some-
Johnson.
Johnson and Barnes to make this work.
I froze.
Get 2 shooters for the price of 1
Wait,
pick.
did that just say his real name is Arius?
Yeah.
Yeah, he's like
Very
a-
hard to find him on the college basketball reference site because his name is not Ace.
That's I mean, this is a really surprising pick.
Is it?
Hmm.
Is it that surprising?
Yes, I
For-
didn't see him mocked here at all.
Well, for months though, he was the third best player in this draft. Everyone was
Yeah.
talking about him, and he intentionally tried to take his way down to a situation where he could put up a lot of shots. I don't think he wanted to be in Utah, but he's
Yeah.
gonna have the keys to the offense.
I love how on
Utah's
the slideshow they have in the background, they've got just like random Utah players and pictures and so on. And as he's walking up and Nate's saying he wants to take a lot of shots, they've got Jordan Clarkson's picture just big in the background. It's like he's going to be competing for taking bad shots, man. He's got
Jordan
some competition.
Clarkson's not gonna be like, yeah. You want some shots? Get it off the fucking glass.
Colin Sexton out there as well.
Oh yeah.
I'm interested to see what Utah does. In Utah, the nepotism move of the offseason already brought in Ainge's son to help run basketball operations. His big declaration that they are not going to be tanking. Like, you don't really need to try. Like, you can trade away your veterans, just play the young guys. So you have a cluster of lackluster young guys whom I personally would love to see them get a lot more minutes to actually figure out if any of them are good. Like, the Wizards played their young guys a lot. Bub Carrington, Bub can play. Give him minutes. Who's up next? Washington?
It is Washington. 3 minutes left to go. I'm just trying to think of this Utah team. I think they are my least favorite roster in the league. It's just in terms of like a rebuilding team with no players that I like. I really like Lauri Markkanen, but in terms of like the rebuilding players, I don't think like Colin Sexton's 26. Go ahead.
Like, who's going to be the guy that's a key piece of the next good Utah Jazz team? Like, is there anyone on the roster that's that guy? And maybe that's why they couldn't pass on Ace Bailey. It's like the upside is just too much when you're this franchise who is rebuilding, has all these pieces, but none of them are really have that upside.
It's a great point. It's a great point because I don't think Keontae George nor Isaiah Collier are that good. Collier is a pretty good passer. I like he's just like a bowling ball, but he literally cannot shoot. He can't shoot. And Cody Williams, not great. Filipowski helped win me a fantasy basketball championship because he just got a ton of minutes on a terrible team towards the end of the season. But
yep.
Hey, John Collins opted into his contract, so that's something. And
he must love it. He must love it there.
Or he loves making $20-something million, and that.
What if Brad Stevens called Danny Ainge and was like, "I'll give you like Brown for Bailey and Collins or something"?
I mean, after we just said that we don't really like.
I said we don't like him, but we don't like Jaylen Brown either.
Yeah, for yourself. I like Jaylen Brown.
Finals MVP.
That's true.
I like Jaylen Brown significantly more than I like anybody on Utah's roster, with maybe the exception of Lauri Markkanen.
But if you're looking for to get off one of the worst contracts in basketball, because Jaylen Brown making like $70 million a year is preposterous. You're not going to be good next year. Why hang on to this,
I'm kind of intrigued to see how he does with a team that's like built around him. Like, I mean, they've moved off Brown.
Simons.
Yeah. Like, this is going to be the Jaylen Brown show this next year. Can they get 40 wins? Can they
change the
I
channel?
Kind of see them being
Jaylen Brown show. Change the channel. I do not like this show. I think the fact that the Celtics could cover for all of his deficits made him look really good.
I mean, there's always that. The ability to cover for flaws will help you. But they also do kind of box him in where he can't do quite as much. Maybe that's helpful. Maybe that's harmful. I'm just
Thank
saying.
God he's a high usage, below average efficiency scorer.
Let him unleash. Let's see it. Let's really go for it.
Yeah,
I also would like
Jaylen Brown 40% usage.
I would also like to just say that right now, while we have Washington on the clock, this is where Malawa watch begins, and like
Well, how do you
Rap-
say his name again?
Malawa,
Malawa?
Malawa,
Malawa?
Come on.
Malawatch? We're
Malawa.
on Malawatch right
Yeah,
now?
Malawa.
That's the name for the phenomenon of anticipating his draft
Yeah.
is the Melowatch.
We're on the Malawatch.
Exactly.
I'm in a is Alexis at, and then Washington gets to pick.
I did do a video on Derek Queen earlier today, whom is getting comps. I don't understand how you comp this guy to both of these guys. He got comps of Domantas Sabonis and Zach Randolph.
Oh, I know you're talking about.
Those are
Dylan probably
very
loves this guy.
Those are very different players in my mind. But
It's the
neither are guys.
physicality, you know. It's I'm guessing this guy's left-handed. He has to be, and he's kind of a bruising physical player with some good vision skills.
So
Did
good
I nail it?
offensive
I've
player,
never
but
seen
he's
this guy
thick.
before. Yeah.
Very limited defensively might be more the Sabonis take than the
Uh,
good passing skills.
Hmm.
I love it when guys like get comp to players and like it starts off as a positive and then it gets turned into an insult. Like,
Yeah. Like this guy's like Domantas Sabonis if he couldn't pass at all. But okay, that's not a very
Sounds
good player.
great.
That's a lot of the
sounds
values.
fantastic.
uh,
Washington's pick is here. All right.
I actually kind of like Derek Queen.
Noah Isingay, he was a guy that I'd seen comped as like Tayshaun Prince meets Josh Smith. And then I started to see people be like, yeah, the Josh Smith comp is more about his personality and his thought process skills. And I'm like, ooh, that gets rough.
All right. The Washington Wizards have been restless thinking about Trey Johnson.
So they went for the point guard or the high scorer.
They cleared the spot for him.
I guess he's more of a 2. Yeah, you move out Poole, you add in another guy who can put up a lot of shots. He attempted 7 threes last season. Was hitting basically 40%. You know, skinny 2 guard. Bruh, the Wizards have too many guards. I mean, they do have a lot of guards, but like, how many good guards do you have? I think that's the thing. Like I saw someone say
they've got Marcus Smart and CJ McCollum on that roster. You got to remember about that.
That's true.
Okay.
They could bring back Malcolm Brogdon. How about that? Maybe they could pivot into being the new Chicago Bulls. Maybe they could chase the play-in. Just
It's
playing
with the
Marcus Smart and
East.
CJ McCollum.
With the East, they could make the finals. So who knows? Yeah. So they have McCollum, Smart. I guess Brogdon's still on the roster. No, he's expiring.
Yeah.
Bub
Hopefully he's
Carrington,
not on the roster.
AJ Johnson.
and Bub Carrington.
George's a guard, but he's 6'7".
He's taller. He grew.
Yeah, and Carrington's. I don't know. Yeah, the Wizards are at the point where if you like Trey Johnson, you take him. Like, there's no best fit. You just win 18 games. Your players are.
What are your thoughts on the
Right.
shorts and socks on the draft stage?
Is that what people are rocking?
That's what Trey Johnson's rocking.
Oh, did he do the suit with the shorts?
And he did the long socks as well.
Ooh. Oh, not a fan of that look.
How-
I actually, I'm not gonna lie. I am a fan of that look. I just know that I don't have the swag.
You're a fucking liar.
No,
You're
it's
jealous.
it's envious. I want to hate it because I'm like, oh, that's terrible. When I'm really like, I wish I could pull that off. I wish I had the legs for that. Like, it's my calves, man. I got one gorgeous calf and one ugly calf, and it's basketball injuries.
Man, maybe that's a good sign for Johnson's athletic upside. The fact that he has the confidence in his calves to wear those shorts, it portends to strong athletic development.
Spoken by Salmon says Brogdon and McCollum civil rights hoops. I do want to see like for one of the youngest teams in the league, can they run out a lineup with the average age of like 34? They have. They could. It's possible.
What was it? There was some game that they ruined. I think the Clippers were late in the season trying to chase a high seed, and then they played fucking Chris Middleton in the fourth quarter, and he made every fucking shot. And I was like, put that old man on the bench. Come on, put in someone that's going to throw up and miss shots. You're supposed to be losing, and Chris Middleton just kept making fucking shots.
And to be fair, that game also cost them their spot in the draft because they would have had the worst record, and it bumped them into the tie that they lost. It screwed them over too.
Yeah,
so,
fucking Chris Middleton, man.
Not
Next
exactly
is
their
the Pelicans. We'll get our answer to our first question of the night, which is, what are the Pelicans targeting?
I'm so scared they're going to take Malawat. I feel like
I was going to say, I feel like a center sounds like what they're looking for.
I mean, it has to be.
Take Queen. Defense isn't really a thing there, right?
Queen and Zion. What a lineup.
I mean, they have Misi. You're right.
This is going to be 100%. I mean,
would Queen and Zion be like 500 pounds combined?
I mean, Trey Johnson and Zion might be 500 pounds combined.
How much does Trey Johnson weigh?
190.
190.
That's the joke was that Zion's 300 pounds.
Gotcha.
All right, where are we at? I haven't gotten to talk to you guys since the finals happened. How are you guys doing?
All these insane trades.
I loved it. The best team won. I don't care about Cinderella runs.
You didn't want another 04 Pistons?
No. It's only cool when it happens, but not when it happens again.
I think it would have been cool if it happened, but I think anyone being like, "Oh, it's a shame Tyrese got hurt because they could have won," and like that's going to be my that's my headcanon for this. I think that's a little bit overblown. Like it would have been really special to have watched it happen, to have watched the Pacers do it, but if it didn't happen, like I don't think we should have any sort of like I don't know. Nostalgia for a thing that didn't happen.
It's the Halliburton injury that sucks so bad. But when I think about I think them making the finals and losing suits them better than winning it, just for what that team was in my head.
Yeah, I like it in NBA seasons where the best regular season team wins the championship. Like it kind of feels like it validates, it makes everything real. Like there's no I think it's hard to asterisk when the team that won the championship was the best team all season.
Yeah. Pick is in for the Pelicans.
Let's find out.
Selection. Maybe another 7 minutes. Silver will wander out here. Give me another Burger King ad.
I'm terrified of what the Thunder are going to do for the rest of this decade. There was a lot of talk that they were trying to move into the top 10, and they've got so many future picks and already 15 players on already under contracts. So, you can't bring in more guys without cutting people, and maybe you won't be sad to cut Gorgie. Ousmane Dieng.
Gorgie Dieng on the mind today.
I love Gorgie. The 3-point shooting.
The fact that the Pelicans have so many rostered players, I think, probably leans them towards Malawak as well. The fact that they have no roster spots and they also don't have a good center, they've probably then got to double this and use it for that purpose.
You said guys, Pelicans. Do you mean Thunder?
I've pivoted back to talking about the Pelicans as they make their pick.
The Pelicans pick is completed. They are in love with Jeremiah Fears.
Wow.
Yeah.
That is surprising.
Nate cringes. What's the thought process?
I don't know. The 6'4", 6'2" point guard, really great passer, not great.
Really good handle.
Yeah.
Old school elite handle.
Ooh, the ball don't stop Twitter account's gonna love this one. My best account on Twitter.
Kyrie level handle. This dude can get downhill and get places. What he does there and when he doesn't have the ball is more concerning. this is like the kind of player that you can very easily see be like out of the league in 4 years. But the all-star
Yeah.
potential is also there.
28% from 3.
Yeah, like he can't shoot, not much of a floater, which you'd like. He's a Chicago point guard, so like I think the Derrick Rose influence is kind of seen in the way that he plays. But yeah, like a smaller guard, can't defend anyone, can't shoot.
What's the comp?
Yeah,
here?
it's has basically a 1-to-1 assist to turnover ratio.
Sounds like you guys really love him.
I mean, I think if memory serves, I think he was one of the guys that reclassified, and so he is one of the really young guys in this draft. But it just, maybe there's something instead of being one of the youngest guys in the draft to having another year to figure some stuff out. His player comps on The Ringer, who I think does a disastrously bad job of comps, but at least they give me 4 of them, has him comped to Jared Bayless, Devin Harris, Jaden Ivey, and in the smallest bubble, Scoot Henderson.
These are backup
Yeah, I mean-
point guards. You're talking about
Yeah.
You're talking about backup.
Yeah,
point
so-
guard? All right, that's fine. Yeah.
So I think like there's some Ja Morant potential, like healthy Ja Morant. Remember that one season where Ja Morant was healthy and the Grizzlies were really good, and every time he was on the court, they were just unstoppable offensively. Like he's a guy that's got like a really good handle, and he can get downhill and he can make things happen.
Yeah, except for he doesn't quite have as much bounce.
Yeah,
It's
he
like-
doesn't. Yeah,
It's like
not-
Ja
not
Morant, if he actually held true to his word and said, I'm not going to dunk anymore.
I think it's still yeah. It could be a good player. I think the idea is there, but
I think this goes.
it's a
with
high bust
the-
type of player.
Certainly, but behind Jante and CJ, those guys will be back. Those guys will be starting, and that's like while I think it's hideous aesthetically.
Wait. You mean DeJounte and Poole?
Oh shit!
also,
yeah.
Also,
Oh, God,
DeJounte
never
Murray
mind.
is still
I take it back. I take it back. No, but those guys
DeJounte
are
Murray
good
is
enough.
still injured, so he may start,
be
or it's
back.
going to be Jordan Poole and
Jose
Herb
Alvarado?
Jones in the backcourt. No. They can go big. They can play Herb,
Yeah.
Trey, Zion, and a point guard.
So I'm really surprised that because Brooklyn had like 5 picks and they didn't trade up. I really thought they would.
Yeah,
sure
they're
they
just going to
tried.
use them all.
Yeah.
Might as well.
What
Take
they have
5 stabs
pick-
at it.
I know they've got pick 9, pick 22. Pick 9, pick 22, 26, 27, and 19. Which
You got to turn that into something, right?
I feel like what's going to happen is 26 and 27 will be packaged together for like 23. And it's going to be overall disappointing. Like you're going to give up 2 to move up
Well,
1.
The other thing is, the Pelicans just took Fairs, who we weren't necessarily thinking would go there. And so maybe the Nets don't feel the need. They didn't feel the need to trade up. They knew that their guy was going to be at the pick because the Pelicans were making this move.
Oh, we got a pair of comments in here. Jordan Hawkins for the guard that maybe gets the start, which you guys know
I
my
like
love
him.
for Jordan Hawkins. And I was trying to figure out ways to pilfer him off of the Pelicans.
Yeah, he's
and
the next Kobe after all.
Absolutely. Young man. Then how do you guys feel about Drew being reportedly pissed that he got sent back to Portland?
I do like the Blazers trading Dame and Simons for the same guy. I'm just somehow rerouting it again. I honestly thought like the Blazers could make the playoffs if they kept Drew Holiday. Like they would be on that kind of pathway, maybe the play in. But like, if he doesn't like it, what kind of contenders do you see taking that kind of money on? I don't really know.
In my mind, there's no way he actually starts the year with Portland. Like,
I disagree. I think Portland
Really?
actually going to be. I think Portland are actually going to be a good team this year.
Yeah,
What?
Like
I
they-
see. That's what I said. Yeah, fine.
Holiday, Kamara, Avdia, Klingon.
Klingon?
Like that's a top 10 defense right there. Like
Mhm.
Portland are going to be scarily average.
Hell yeah!
Like, what- didn't they
43
win in the-
wins.
Didn't they win in
Listen-
the high 30s last year? And like Sharp will
36.
get better, Scoot will
Yeah.
get better. They add in Drew Holiday. Now they're a really good defense. Like they're going to be scarily 500, I think.
I think you guys are overrating how much Drew had left in the tank for the regular
Yeah.
season.
I think
he-
most people are. I think
he
most
is-
people that were surprised by this don't understand how much Drew
I'd
slipped
rather
last
have
year.
him than Simons.
I mean, in the playoffs, 100%. I'm there with you, where he can get some more
he had a bad
rest,
playoffs as
lock
well.
in.
Yeah,
Yeah.
but defense. I don't know. I think for the fit, can they get off this Jeremy Grant deal? That's kind of the anchor on this whole thing, honestly.
Jeremy Grant and Drew Holiday to Denver for MPJ and
Zeke Naji.
then Zeke Naji. Boom.
Hey, I actually kind of
Honestly,
like that.
wait a second. Wait,
Yeah.
does that work?
Mate, you just cooked.
Wait a second. Yeah, I would do that. Bring
That
Jeremy Grant back to
cannot
Denver.
work.
Drew, Denver needs a point.
Wait, is it doesn't Jeremy Grant make like $50 million or something?
I think it's more like 30.
I think it's not as bad as we think, but yeah.
To go
Let's see
multiple
here.
years.
Does Fanspo have the rosters updated yet? Jeremy Grant's
right,
at
guys.
32.
Nets have made their pick. Would you
but they
like to
don't have
hear it?
Simons.
I might botch
Yeah.
this pronunciation. I might botch this. The Nets are infatuated with Igor Demon. BYU.
Igor
Wow.
it's not Igor. It's like Jaeger.
Ah,
It's like Jaeger. Yeah.
Jaeger. What do you guys think?
I'm now out on him. Igor Demon is a really cool name. Jaeger Demon, not so
Hmm.
much.
Um
I feel like Americans are so bad at pronouncing names. Like you see an American's name written, and you're like, okay, there's an obvious way how to pronounce this, and then they like make it stupid, like Connect or Knipple. Like there's no way that Con Knipple's name should be said fucking Knipple. Okay, based on how it's spelled, that should be like Nupal or something. That's a much better name, but Americans ruin everyone's name. So surely this young man coming in can embrace that American tradition of saying names wrong anyway and just change the way that his name is said so that he can become Igor Demon, which is a very hard
Yeah.
name. That's like a top 10
Um,
all-time name in sports.
Joe
If it was said
Theismann-
Igor Demon.
Joe Theismann, famous quarterback years and years ago, changed how he said his name. So it'd be Joe Theismann, so it rhymed with Heisman. So he'd have a better Heisman trophy, like a better case to win the award. So it sounded better.
I respect that.
Yeah.
That's wonderful. I did just check. Drew Holiday and Jeremy Grant are combined 64 million. MPJ, Dario Saric, and Zeke Naji only get you up to 52 mil. So
Not possible.
can't quite make this. I mean, if we kept throwing in more guys,
Could
like
we get a
if we added
third team involved, possibly?
possibly. Who's got cap space?
Brooklyn.
Yeah.
Brooklyn.
Could Brooklyn
You
take
gotta send something to Brooklyn.
Well,
what if
the problem
Brooklyn
is
took Grant and then Cam Johnson went to the Nuggets or something?
I don't think
Oh,
there's
this-
enough picks in the world to make that.
There's someone out there with a massive trade exception. I can't remember who it is.
Wait, guys,
Is it Atlanta?
Yeah, Atlanta has
is
a big
Toronto
one.
on the clock now?
Yeah, they are.
Malua.
Man, the Nets really wanted.
What do you guys think of that pick?
I hate this player type. Like
Ooh.
big guard who, like whenever the comp is Josh Giddey as like the high end when Josh Giddey is, and like Josh Giddey isn't even a good player. Like even if he gets the 100% of Josh Giddey, that's still not good. I hate this like big point guard who's not a scorer archetype.
The BYU player selected lottery. It's a rough go. Sean Bradley, Fredette. And now this guy. I did see earlier for the Cooper flag pick, they referenced the Duke players that had gotten taken and they put Elton Brand on there. Elton Brand has my favorite NBA story where he'd always say that he was as tall as the other centers he was going up against, but his neck was just a lot shorter. It's like he
Mhm.
actually was like 6'11" to 7 feet, but he's like, no,
Yeah,
his
like
neck is
his
stubby.
his standing reach was like elite compared to his height because he had no neck, and so his shoulders were just here, and so his arms started so much higher.
Yeah. He's like, no, I'm not 6'9". I mean, I am 6'9", but like my neck is, I'd be 7 feet.
Yeah.
Clippers
I'm not.
legend, Elton Brand.
I don't hate Igor Demon, or Igor Demon, but like it. You guys already had Ben Simmons. If you wanted a tall guy who could pass, like you've seen how this works. Like,
Yeah,
at
you
least-
must really not like him.
well, it's just the things that he brings to the table are not like the things that you're necessarily looking for or in this day and age, and the things that he's lacking kind of are the things that you're looking for in this day and age. And while the guys that break the mold usually are guys who have some unique skill sets that we under anticipate, so there's always that aspect. Like I don't think this is him, and this is a reach. Like just looking at mocks next year, he is 19th on the ringers. Denim. I guess NBADraft.net had him at 8. ESPN had him at 13. Tankathon has him at 18. Like it's
all over the place.
Yeah. Most of them, the last pick of the lottery, are further back. 6'9" point guard that doesn't really defend that well and can't shoot.
But you have to think, what is the upside? If let's say he can shoot, what can he be?
A
If he improved his
6'9"
game.
point guard who can shoot.
That sounds great. I'll take it with my 10th pick. Sounds fantastic, guys. What's going on? All right, the Raptors. Will this be Maluwak? We're on Maluwatch.
Maluwatch. I'm kind of surprised is that Brooklyn didn't try to take Derek Queen, because like there at least is a vision of an all-star there. I don't love some of the limitations on the defense, but like
They can still go get him.
what is the plan for Brooklyn? What are they going for next year?
Listen, man, I can't tell you. They're a team in transition.
Did I ever tell you guys when I became a Fever fan, like the Indiana Fever?
I don't think so.
So I had WNBA League Pass for a couple of years, and I was like, I gotta actually start like watching a team to really get into this. And I'm like, well, it's either the Fever or the Sky, because they're the two closest teams to me since the Sharks no longer exist. And I'm like, that year the Fever had traded away all of their like established players for 5 of the top 11 picks. And I was like, I'm in. This is the most 2K ass shit ever. Like, let's just go get draft picks. And they picked up another second rounder, which was like a top 20 pick because there's only 10 teams. And then they all really sucked. It was another really bad year where like it's tough to be a WNBA rookie. And then they got Caitlin Clark like 2 years later. So it worked out, but I feel like Brooklyn's trying to do the same thing of, hey, let's have a bunch of draft picks and see if we can make any of them work. And I wish they would go for more upside swings.
Colin Murray Boyles was low-key looked like he looks like he's about to cry. I wonder if he knows something about this next pick.
I hope he knows it's not him.
He's looking emotional, as in like all of his NBA dreams are about to come true as Toronto is on the clock.
Who are you talking about?
Colin Murray Boyles.
The Raptors were enthused.
They need more forwards.
By Colin Murray Boyles forward. The Maluwatch continues. That's gotta hurt.
Done.
That's gotta sting.
Done.
I know a lot of people were.
A burly tweener whose elite defensive processing and nascent offensive playmaking will inevitably make Draymond Green comparisons.
Yeah.
Tweener. No more tweeners, Toronto. Stop it, the tweeners. Pick a guy that plays a position.
The 3/4 depth in Toronto is not something that they needed to add to. Like, I was chatting with Charlie in our group chat, and I was like, what position would be best for RJ Barrett, for Brandon Ingram, for Barnes? And they were like, Barnes is more of a 3/4. Ingram might be more of a true 3. Barrett can be a little bit of a 2/3. I'm like, they're all 3s. They're just all 3s. Like,
when the Raptors trade RJ and I guess this pick, maybe he's going to get rerouted to Sacramento for Sabonis, we could really start talking about.
I actually like this guy from the.
Tell me about him. Tell me why you like him.
There's been a lot of players since Draymond became a good player that get compared to Draymond, which is basically any undersized defensive guy. But the thing with Draymond is that like his measurements are actually ridiculous. Like his wingspan, his standing reach are sort of one of one, and that's what enables him to be this guy that entirely breaks the mold. And Murray Boyles has those sort of measurements. I actually do think of any player that's been drafted as the next Draymond, this is the one who actually could be the next Draymond. Cool. Like some offensive ability to like bring the ball up, some finishing ability, good defensive player. Like I actually do like him. I don't know if he's a top 10 pick, but I think a guy that actually will be a good NBA player.
The thing I'll say about guys getting compared to Draymond is now that we know the Draymond Green mold, if you're getting comps to Draymond Green in the second round, that's a bad sign. Like when Draymond came, there was a lot of knocks against the tweeners. Now people are looking for the next Draymond. Now they want to have the next Draymond. Like if you're getting it picked at the same range that Draymond was picked at, it's no longer because you were overlooked. It's because you've been evaluated and probably not good.
Yeah.
So
also, like less so recently, but like 2015 through 2020, a bunch of these like big no position forwards with no skill or ability, convinced NBA teams that they could become Draymond Green and got them drafted. But this is like the one guy that actually could be the one.
I don't even know what to do now. All right, where are we at in the draft?
Houston.
Who's up? Houston. I don't have a Rockets jersey.
Malawatch Houston? The Malawatch party?
I mean, where are you guys at with Alperen Şengün?
I like Şengün.
Yeah, I've come around on Şengün.
But
he's
defensively
good enough defensively for you?
Mm-hmm. Yeah, he can be. He's proven that he can be part of a really good defense, and he's a really good offensive player. He's what Domantas Sabonis thinks he is. He's what Domantas Sabonis fans think Domantas Sabonis is.
I won't even comment.
Sorry, Aaron.
Don't even comment.
What do you think? What do you think about pairing him with another center? Like, do you think the Steven Adams, the two pairing?
Yeah, I think this is actually
draft comp. Draymond Green right on the TV.
I think this is actually Malawak is a good pick for this spot because Houston needs a third center. Like Steven Adams is one of the best backup centers in the league, but you also don't want to play in every game. You don't want to play in too many minutes. You kind of need a third center to fill in when he inevitably misses games. And like to bring in a guy who's raw and needs some maybe time to develop. Being part of a winning system with a good coach, he probably fits in quite nicely to Udoka's system as well of having like the big man just like be a roamer and not defend anyone and just guard the paint, which is like the one thing that Malawak is good at. I think actually is a good pick, assuming they go that way. That's what I would do. But what do I know?
There is always the Illinois point guard right out there.
No trades thus far.
No trades. Yeah, that's a bit weird. Carter Bryant is like the presumptive 3-and-D guy. Now
Yeah.
he is like very
I like him
pigeonholed
as well.
as being a 3-and-D guy, but given Houston's trying to compete right now, that could be fine. We haven't talked since they got Durant. How do you guys how do you feel about Durant? What does it raise their ceiling enough to make this worth it?
Certainly. I think when thinking about all these Durant trades, I had in mind that they would lose something. That they would, in exchange for Kevin Durant, give up a piece of value. I would have driven Jalen Green to the airport myself if I was Houston. I'd be like, I can get off this jail. You'd have to attach a pick to get off that contract, and to exchange it for a player who's kind of taking up space, a pretty good 3-and-D player in Dylan Brooks, and and a pick. I don't know.
Houston, we have a trade.
Yeah.
The Charlotte Hornets are trading Mark Williams again.
Okay.
To the Phoenix Suns for number 29 and a 2029 first-round pick.
Oh my god. What is it with these dumb
Okay.
franchises trying to trade for Mark Williams?
Okay. I mean, Phoenix is a center.
They've done it. They've re-paired Nick Richardson and Mark Williams.
Oh yeah.
Nick Richards.
Why?
They were good. They were good
they've-
though. I love that was the best part about that team.
They finally acquired the worst center rotation in the NBA.
Oh wait, guys, this wasn't Houston's pick either. This is the Suns' pick.
Oh, it's not official yet. Okay, yeah.
Yeah, we're dumb.
So it says no, because it says proposed trade next to every pick. Oh, come on, Malawak to Phoenix.
So wait, in the same moment that Phoenix trades for Mark Williams, they also draft a center.
Yeah, man. No, they're building out their center depth.
Nick Richards won't be there next year, is what I'm also hearing.
Wait, so what is going on? No, you've really confused me.
This pick was part of the Durant trade. It's just showing up as Houston because trades aren't official yet.
That is so annoying.
Well, the other trades from from picks that were swapped 6 months ago still show as like proposed deal. But this is if he was a Houston head on, that'd be so stupid. But
yeah, so in the same moment that Phoenix makes a trade, trading away the 29th pick of this year's draft and a 2029 draft, they also drafted a center. So they just double acquired centers.
I mean, it all matters how protected is that 29 first.
I think if I remember all of their picks correctly, because they've traded away every pick and they've swapped the picks that they haven't traded and they've swapped the swaps that they've had.
And they did that sneaky thing where they traded away their own pick for like 2 worse picks that they could split it up into multiple first round picks. So it's probably some other team's bad first round pick.
Yeah, it's probably a lot of bullshit. Okay. Shams is saying that the 2029 first rounder is the least favorable of Charlotte, Minnesota, and Utah.
Okay. I mean, yeah, they take 3 stabs at it. The chances are Charlotte will be bad in that year.
It is also top 5 protected. Or the Minnesota part is top 5 protected.
The Minnesota part. Okay. So it's Minnesota's.
If
Minnesota is the worst team, and it's a top 5 pick. Okay, that makes sense.
Yeah. Okay, so let's talk new look Phoenix. Starting center rotation is Mark Williams and Malawa. Who are they starting at power forward? Because this team now just has a glut of shooting guards.
I have to look at this roster.
Grayson Allen has been steadily working to put on weight so he can move further and further down the positional spectrum. I think he's going to come into this season at 240 pounds pure muscle and start at the 4.
I think Royce O'Neal will start at the 4.
I mean, it's going to be like Ryan Dunn and Royce O'Neal at the 3 and the 4.
Yeah, not a bad 3 and 4.
I mean
that's
like 3s are just players. 4s right now. Yeah.
My guy Oso Ighodaro, can he get some minutes? That's some defense there. You gotta have some.
So we could say it's like Booker,
Green, Dunn, O'Neal, and one
Mark
bad
Williams.
center.
Guys, I don't feel great about that roster.
Wait,
I'm
so
gonna be
so
honest with you.
so clarify for me. This number 10 pick was made by whom? Who actually gets
It
this
was
player?
Phoenix.
Phoenix.
Phoenix gets it. It
Phoenix
was
gets-
Houston. They traded it to Phoenix for Durant
How did Houston have the number 10 pick when they were
from.
It was Phoenix's pick.
Yeah.
okay? Okay.
It was
That they okay. Now it's making sense. And then Phoenix also traded for Mark Williams.
yeah.
So they drafted Malawak at the same time as trading for Mark Williams.
Yes.
So now they have
Watching
Like,
Dylan
if
piece
we-
this
I'll
together
let
is
you.
so
I'll let you
funny.
catch up. Just let me.
if they're like if we put together these three bad centers, maybe we'll have one good center.
Do you like Malawak as the player, Dylan?
Yes, but rookies always suck, and especially centers and point guards especially suck. And so I think he'll be a good defensive player eventually, but he's not going to be a good defensive player in year one.
Well, that's why you
Um,
grab Mark Williams.
And that's why you grab Mark Williams, another bad defensive player.
Do they have Nick Richards still? Yeah, he's on the Bucks. Man, this roster stinks, man. God, this is a bad team. It is interesting seeing.
Did you?
Go ahead.
Sorry. We haven't had a chance to discuss it because it's happened before we well, it happened after we last spoke. But do you guys see that? What's the freaking Suns idiot owner's name?
Matt Ishbia.
Matt Ishbia. There we go. Do you see that? His solution to this terrible season is that he's going to become more involved in decision making. He said
Man, that's gotta
he's done the good owner thing of letting experts make the decisions, and it didn't go well. So to fix the situation, he, who knows nothing about NBA basketball, is going to become more involved in the decision making.
Would you rather have this or Sarver?
I mean,
Oh man.
from a workplace standpoint, I would rather have Sarver.
From a workplace standpoint?
Sorry, I would rather have Ishbia.
Yeah, I guess from a culture perspective, but in terms of, I don't know, at least they've won games under Sarver. But I was going to say it is interesting seeing Booker play on the worst rosters imaginable early in his career, and then get out of that. And usually, once you graduate from that, if you're not it's hard to go back to that. This looks strikingly like the 2017 Suns or something.
Yeah,
like
it's like a market correction. His roster quality was like here, and then it jumped all the way back up to here, and so it has to come down to here to get back to the average of, dog shit.
God, this team is in the finals, man. Goodness.
And then they traded Chris Paul for Bradley Beal and Kevin Durant for freaking Josh Green.
Guys, we have another trade and a draft selection. Portland has drafted Cedric Coward and traded him to the Memphis Grizzlies.
Interesting. Wonder what the trade is.
I don't know, but Coward is a Chris Vernon specialty over at the Ringer. Coward played like 6 games this last year.
So he was heavily involved in the decision making, obviously.
He says a guy at Target told him that Coward is going to be the best player in this draft.
I mean, I like obscure word of mouth.
So,
Aaron, what was your piece of NBA news that you broke? There was something that from word of mouth, some move that's going to go down. What was that again? Was it you?
I don't remember. I don't think so.
I believe it was something that he had to tell us off air because it was about a guy that he hoops with.
No, what it was that this was
a friend of a friend
that the Kings were going to target Trae Young, and then lo and behold, he's the king. Like Trae Young, the rumors circulated pretty intensely, but nothing ever happened. Guys, I'm going to take a dinner break. I'll be back.
What?
It's 6:30. I haven't eaten.
All right.
I'll probably miss like one pick with the way this thing moves. I'll be back.
Dylan, how do you feel about Coward going to Memphis? Also, do we have more details on this trade yet?
What are Memphis doing? That's a very good question.
Yeah.
How did you feel about the Bane trade? We haven't talked about that.
I don't understand it. Like, is it just a salary realignment and you're trying to cut costs and rebuild later? Or are you trying to free up more minutes and more role in the offense for Jalen Wells? I don't think he's going to be that good offensively to really make that happen. It seems strange to me because I feel like Memphis has had the problem of almost having too many guys. Like, they've had a deep rotation. They survived the whole Ja absence because of their deep guys, and they kept finding more guys, G.G. Jackson. And like, why are you not packaging them together for a really good player as opposed to pilfering them off and trying to get more picks and depth? It feels weird to me.
Yeah, I mean, when you're in that position, you've got to either buy or sell. And I do kind of like the courage to be like, okay, we've given this a try. These three guys are not good enough to win a championship, so let's move whichever one we can and try to rebuild around the other two and see if we can have another stab at this. Like, our first team construction, it was a good team. We made a solid effort. We put together three pretty good guys, but they weren't good enough overall. So now let's redo it all again. They're still young enough. Ja and Jaren Jackson are still young enough to have another crack at this. And I like the courage of making the move instead of just being like, okay, let's just try this one more time. Maybe this is the year.
When you say the courage of making the move, they also got like crazy overpaid for the move. Like, for first,
I don't know, man.
It's a lot to give up for Bane. I know that they're not all like great first, but I would do that move. I think
4 bad first for a top 35 player, like, seems pretty reasonable. And also this point was brought up that of any player that's realistically available around that price, is there any player that you'd rather have that fits Orlando better than Desmond Bane in terms of a player that can fit in exactly to the way that they play and can complement their strengths that already exist and fill in their weaknesses, as like a really good spot up shooter, a guy who's strong and so he can defend multiple positions, doesn't give them a point of failure on defense. Like the perfect guy.
He is a really good fit in Orlando. I think it's a good trade for both teams. I don't know. It is a lot of picks. Like, they're not great picks, but it's a lot of picks. Those picks can be packaged again, can be added together. But it back to my initial point for Memphis. Why are they trying to add more rotation? Like, they have the assets, smash them together and trade for something big, as opposed to trying to split up the assets.
Yeah, be interesting to see what they do. Do you think this is a guy? Did you do much of a scout on Fears?
On Fears or on Coward?
Coward.
Very different linguistic values there. All right, so the Grizzlies are sending 16, a 2028 first round pick, and 2 seconds for Coward. So Memphis will not be on the clock at 16. I did a little bit on him. I don't love him. Like, I think he'll be a guy who can come in and play immediately. I think Memphis has done well drafting older guys. And Memphis has actually always had a really strong scouting department. Like, I remember a couple years back, them snagging Santi Aldama and Santi not being on ESPN's top 100 on their big board. And it was like the end of the first round. And then they traded for Bane, who was the 30th pick. So, like, I'm willing to say that maybe some of my biases against an old player coming off of injury, who does a lot of post-ups, like, a lot of his kind of scoring comes from mid-range post-ups where he can body through smaller collegiate players in a really weak conference. I don't love it, but Memphis has proven me to be stupid a number of times, so who's to say they won't do it again? Did you like him?
I think that the big thing, my biggest takeaway from him, like you, is that he should be able to play right away, which is good for the Grizzlies, who, in theory, like do have players to make a playoff push. If Jar's fine and Jaren's fine, those are two guys that give you the floor and the ceiling of a playoff team. You made a really good point, which I also had considered in the Desmond Bane trade, which is that the Grizzlies do have a good knack of finding guys. And so, this Bane trade could also be just a bet on themselves, like the belief that we can find another Desmond Bane. We're that good. We keep finding these guys. We can do it again, and we can pocket these assets, and we can find the next Desmond Bane.
We have another trade. The trades are starting to heat up. The Hawks are trading number 13, the pick that's currently on the board, to the Pelicans for number 23 and an unprotected 2026, the more favorable of New Orleans or Milwaukee. Who do you think is going to have? Well, this next year. Yeah, who's going to have a better pick at the end of this next year? The Pelicans or the Bucks?
Those are two kind of upside picks, I think. Like, you could easily see both of them winning like 47 games. But I mean, Zion gets hurt. Something happens with Giannis, whether that's a trade or whatever. Like, things can happen. Like, Dame's out the entire year. Brook Lopez is a free agent. He could be on the move. Like, this Bucks team could really they could really suck if
they could fall apart quickly.
Yeah. And like, Giannis is already regressing in terms of his ability to just carry a team on his own and elevate a team entirely by himself.
Hey. He added the mid-range game this year. Some of his best mid-range stats.
That is fair. He ignored the advice of all, smart NBA development people and decided, instead of a spot up three, I'm just going to work entirely on a pull-up mid-range shot. Right, who's Chicago taking?
Well, we also have in the chat, Cedric Coward is who Boyles thinks he is. Dylan, you were much higher on Boyles than I was. How do you feel about that statement?
I also watched more Boyles than Coward.
Well, it's because Coward played 6 games in a pretty low-level conference.
Okay,
not a lot of it's on film.
Watched and researched more on Boyles than Coward.
I think they're very different players. Like, Boyles will be a 4, sometimes drifting in a 5. Coward is like a 2-3, be more of a defensive wing on the perimeter, going to help out less under the rim.
And he can actually shoot.
Yeah, well.
Which Boyles has much bigger questions over.
Yeah. So I think they're different players. I don't know. I think it'll be interesting these next couple of drafts, because this year we saw a ton of the early draft guys. I think it was like 120 guys who put their name in the hat early, guys who are not seniors, who were like underclassmen, and 60 or so of them pulled it out because they figured they could get more money on NIL deals. They weren't feeling super confident about getting NBA money. And so it's probably going to take a few years to shift, but I think we're going to see a lot more seniors, a lot more NBA ready guys, kind of like what we used to see in the 80s and 90s, where guys would go play 3-4 years of college as opposed to jumping if they weren't, if they're not like super special.
Yeah. Big question. Do you think that is a good thing or a bad thing for the NBA?
I think it's a great thing. I think
players staying in college and developing longer and making money is going to result in a better NBA product.
I think having smarter NBA teams, and they will be smarter because they will have more film and more time to study these players. Daryl Morey talked about it. Statistically, by whatever models he runs, the NBA has gotten worse at drafting over the last 10 years than they were 10 years before that. there are more guys who are hitting later in drafts than what we've seen in the past. And a big part of that is you just have younger and younger guys, more freshmen, more international players that they don't have as much film on. If guys are playing in pro leagues or getting paid in college and they get to watch film of them for 3 or 4 years, high school, 2 years of college, like they have a little bit better chance of making a correct judgment call on how good this player is going to be. That's my thought, at least, is it'll help that way.
Yeah. And one of my big NBA takes is that young players are really bad. And so having fewer really bad players in the NBA in theory is a good thing.
Oh, New Orleans is targeting Derek Queen. We discussed that back at their what pick did they have earlier? Was it 6 or 7?
7, I think, yeah. And we said, I don't know if we all said it, but some of us said they'll be really dumb. Why would they do that?
You don't want the offensive hub, the playmaking big man next to Zion with serious defensive limitations.
I don't want him sharing the court with Zion a single minute. Like if he can be like the backup for Zion, then like that's kind of interesting. Like he's is the kind of guy that could be like an offensive go to on a second unit. But I mean, I don't want him playing a single minute with Zion.
Hey guys.
Yeah.
Did I miss just one pick?
2. We actually missed one though. We missed the Bulls selecting Noah Esingwe.
All right, I'm pulling my phone. I'm gonna text my grandma. I need you guys to tell me exactly what to say about him.
I'm sorry for your loss. You've now drafted the next Josh Smith.
give me something. Give me something she understand.
No, I mean, he's like a 6'9" to 6'11", depending on shoes or without shoes. Super bouncy forward that's highly athletic, and if he commits himself to defense, like I don't know, what's your Josh Smith stock? Because he could defend.
Are you familiar with? Are you familiar with the Thunder's 15th man, Ousmane Dieng?
Yeah.
He's high upside, Ousmane Dieng.
Yeah, I mean there's a ton of upside.
Wemby's going to get a lot of these like raw French prospects drafted. It's the way these things kind of go.
What are some of the question marks around the Bulls guy? Like why is he limited right now? In a sentence.
Super raw. Like doesn't have much of, I don't know if experience. It's because I gotta imagine he's been playing for a long time, but he doesn't have post moves. Still developing.
He played in France, which is a good league.
Yeah,
he's French.
Played in France. He's on the same team as Ben Serif.
Is he French?
Was our first question. He is French. It's just a hyper athletic guy who probably has been able to coast on his athleticism up to this point and needs to refine skills now that he's not going to be the most athletic guy in the league he's playing in.
Yeah. Good size, good athleticism, and not a lot else. Like one of those, your typical high upside, like, oh, this guy's 6'10" and athletic and he's got long arms and he can't play at all. Let's make a commitment here. Let's make an investment. One of the comps I saw for him was Al-Farouq Aminu. One of my favorite all-time players.
Hawks take Queen.
I think Nate said that pick was traded to New Orleans, if that makes you hate it even more.
Yes, it was traded for the 26th pick and a 2026 pick. We had the debate while you were gone, because the 2026 pick is the better of the Milwaukee Bucks and the New Orleans Pelicans picks. Who's going to have a better pick next year?
It's like better as in the pick you want, like the lower pick?
Yes, the lower pick.
Well, the Pelicans will be worse than the Bucks next year.
Will they?
Yes.
What if Zion gets traded?
Giannis, you mean?
Yeah. What if Giannis gets traded?
Oh. Yeah, I don't think Giannis is getting traded. I think it would have happened.
Okay.
Yeah.
I'm
Who-
I'm
I
saying
think
with
they
I mean,
said
Lillard.
he sees that
Even
only a
even
Western
with
Conference teams would take him, and the West sucks.
even with Giannis, no Dame, potentially no Brook Lopez. Like, what is Ryan Rollins and Kyle Kuzma and Giannis and starting now Bobby Portis get you in terms of wins? Like, is that a 500 team?
It's the Marjan Beauchamp team. Let's make it happen.
Like, do they have to bring back Kevin Porter Jr. to start for them?
God, that's a scary thought. Maybe they can get Jordan Poole rerouted there.
The Bucks, they need a point guard. Who pretty popular in Milwaukee. Drew Holiday.
Mm.
Get him back.
Get him back. Do it.
Just send back Dame.
Wait a second. Wait. That'd be probably honestly beneficial just to undo that trade.
Dame ends up back where he's beloved.
Yeah.
He can mentor Scoot from the bench, really talk him through some stuff for this season, and Giannis gets reunited with Drew.
Okay, so San Antonio back on the clock.
I really hate how, like, you can't be sure who is actually making these picks.
I noticed that if it says proposed trade, that means that
That
is
has
gone.
been traded, yeah.
Okay. So this
Yeah.
is San Antonio's pick. They own it. Fair and square.
All right, so they've already drafted one point guard. They also already have Stephon Castle, and they have Fox. But the really hard to pronounce guy from Illinois, best player on the board. After him, Carter Bryant, and then maybe Asan Newell.
I like Carter Bryant for them. That's another guy that I like.
That feels very just like atypical Spurs. Is Dairy Queen an actual NBA level center? I mean, he's fine. He'll be fine.
Nate hates these guys. You've yet to be like, I love this pick. This is a really good player.
Dude,
this is like
hyped you up so much about zagging
one
on
of the-
Harvard.
one of the best drafts in recent memory, and every pick Nate's like, this guy fucking sucks. He was starting at number 2. I'm
Which of these
surprised he
guys are
didn't
good?
come on here and be like, Cooper Flag, like, he just doesn't really have an
No,
elite skill.
Nate
I
doesn't
don't
like
know about
Flag
him as an
either.
elite-
He doesn't
No.
like Flag either.
I think this draft is gonna be overrated.
That's
Alright.
fair. Like we do tend to be wrong about whether a draft is good or not, right? Like the supposedly great drafts don't typically end up being great.
If you guys had to put a guess on how many like all-star appearances will Cooper Flag have?
7.
Oh,
10.
thank you, Dylan. I was feeling it's more like a 4 to 5 than like a legendary. Like, I don't think we're gonna be putting him into our top 75.
I'm gonna say
all
like
time.
7 All-Star appearances and 3 All-NBA teams.
Yeah,
If he was in the East, I'd feel much better about it.
fair.
Like you can be an all-star in the East and be not really that good.
Dylan, do you want to announce this one?
I'm probably behind you, and also am watching with no audio.
Is it Danny Wolf?
It's not.
It's
Danny
not.
Wolf.
It's the other problem that I'm having is that the part of my screen where it says their name is covered, and so I'm just looking at their faces. And a lot of these guys have never like seen up close. So there is a young man who's been picked. I couldn't tell you exactly who he is. It's Carter Bryant. We did it, guys.
Merrill
Now-
Clark, I don't understand your question. And of a range from Jackson Hayes to Jay Huff. On a range from Jackson
Yeah.
Hayes to Jay Huff to Steven Adams. Where does Derek Queen sit? I don't know.
I love that Huff is recognized as being better than Hayes. That's correct.
It's true. Closer to Steven Adams, but like modern
Noted
Steven
ball
Adams,
knower,
not
Merrill
like
Clark.
not like peak Steven Adams.
Carter Bryant's grandfather is a member of the USA Deaf Basketball Hall of Fame. That's very interesting.
Did
Do you know
say
what I like about?
Deaf?
Yeah.
I thought you said death for a second. I was like, did they murder people? Like,
Death basketball.
It's actually extremely competitive basketball.
Are these Aztec rules?
Yeah,
That's
he plays
interesting.
in the
I guess I
Aztec
didn't know there
Basketball
would be
League.
a Deaf Hall of Fame.
I think one thing that's reassured me even more about this pick, I think this is perfect, is watching him walk up in his outfit, and the fact that he went to the effort of waxing his chest just shows that he has an attention to detail far beyond his years. Like a lot of players in that age wearing the open shirt are not going to have that level of attention to detail. So the fact that he's gone above and beyond shows me he's focused on the little things.
As a very hairy man,
Oh,
I
he's
said,
signing on.
let the chest hair go.
He's
Don't
doing
shave it.
ASL on the screen. Pretty cool stuff. All right, Nate, tell me why he sucks.
Carter Bryant?
Yeah.
He's Trevor Ariza. He'll be a very
All
good
right.
3-and-D wing.
Yeah, that's good.
Which is good for 14, right?
Yeah. It's just not an upside pick. It's
Trevor
if you know
Ariza
what
is
you're
going to
getting.
be in our top 500.
I think probably.
Yeah.
I think
But he's
I
mocked
think-
out on mine when we finish that.
I think this draft is not going to have as many like super high picks as just a result of a lot of the underclassmen going back for the NIL deals. You know, your guys that you're kind of hoping one of them will hit in that like 15 to 30 range. A lot of those guys went back for more NIL money and to try to raise their draft stock up for next year. As a result, you've got a lot more seniors who will be able to come in and play immediate minutes and have immediate impact, but limited ceilings.
I just
So-
realized like the Merrill Clark's the icon, like his account profile picture. Took me a second. Do you guys know that video? That's such a good video.
No, I don't recognize it.
It's like this guy doing options trading, and he loses like the tens of thousands of dollars in an instant, and he goes. That's just the whole video. It's amazing.
Ooh,
Incredible.
all right. So now we have the OKC Thunder on the board, and there's a lot of ways they could go, but my favorite way for them to go is a guy who's been falling in the drafts a lot, so maybe they won't pick him this high, but is Jace Richardson.
I know Jack likes him.
Just off the bench scoring guard. He is a guy that, like, I mean, absolute best case scenario is he's a Lou Williams. He's not going to be your starter, but he'll come in and put up inefficient buckets and run the offense. Like you.
So he's going to be like, he's like a worse Isaiah Joe.
He's smaller, faster, punchier, or better with the ball. Think like Jordan Clarkson or Colin Sexton, but just someone who could push the tempo off the bench and like handle the ball and give Shea 5 minutes of rest.
I'm into that. I know Jack had said if the Kings got a pick that he wanted him to take that guy, which how we went from Halliburton and Davion and Fox to talking about trading to take a guard in the back end of the first round is so sad.
Yeah. Outside of that, like maybe they could take Thomas Sorber, who is a guy that has some real flaws to his game, but maybe he could be kind of a internal draft and stash. Just putting him into the G League, letting him kind of figure things out for a bit, as opposed to a guy that needs to play right away, and then could provide some big man depth for them.
Okay. The pick is in. Right now it's a pesticide ad.
All right, pesticide ad. Who does that foreshadow?
Now it's what car is this?
I think it's going to foreshadow Asa Newell. Well, long arms.
It's a Nissan.
Big.
Nissan Rogue. Sponsor us, Nissan.
Yeah, that definitely screams Asa Newell. Grant Williams is not on the top 500, maybe 700.
I actually have the Matrix pulled up. I could tell you on that.
Look at that. My guy. jumping down in the matrix.
1,103rd.
I remember Batman's Eastern Conference Game 7. The problem is I also remember every other Grant Williams game.
He was good. He was good for Boston. He really was. It's one of those things where like his intensity and the culture he brought kind of played up his basketball ability. And then when he went to a team that didn't really care about him or care about winning games, it just didn't work out.
Yeah. He's no Semi Ojeleye.
It came off as awkward in Dallas. I'm not saying Dallas, the not winning games was a Charlotte issue. The didn't really care for his antics was a Dallas issue.
Lakers should bring him in.
He'd probably start.
God, how long are they giving these teams between picks? I thought it was like 5 minutes.
Well, I think it's probably longer than that. I think it gets shorter as it goes on, but at the same time,
maybe I'm not a fan of the 2-day draft night. I was thinking I liked it because you get kind of time to reset your board after the first round, kind of figure things out, maybe figure out some trades. But like, I don't know. I thought it was a 5-minute clock in the first.
Yeah, I mean, we're like 2 hours in and we've barely done the lottery.
This is how it goes every year, guys. The pace is ridiculously slow. So I watch these live. I know the pacing.
I swear, watching on my phone, they're like one after the other.
Sorber. Center.
Yeah. I think they're probably disappointed that that they weren't able to trade up in the top 10 and get Maloa.
I think that the Thunder are really going to show, or they're going to be devastating in the way they move this roster around. They have so many picks. They have so many assets. They can move off of anybody instantly. And where I think Boston won the title and then like paid Drew Holiday, or like paid Kristaps, like they took on this money. The OKC is not going to be attached to its players in that way. And so guys like Hardenstein, just gone. Didn't like too expensive, getting him out of here. And you'll see like even Caruso or Dort, like guys can't be expensive. You're going to contend for very long in this new NBA.
Yeah. Was it you that would put in the group chat that they're not going to be attached to anyone outside of the big three? And my initial thought was that, like, are we sure they're going to be attached to the other two of the big three? Like, I think you keep Shea, but like, I mean, if Jalen Williams gets too expensive, it's not like they don't have other guys that could step into that role.
No, certainly. Like, I think Chet's someone you kind of have to see through. I think he could be the best player in the world, and I really be like the defensive impact is insane. If he stops dribbling the ball off his foot, maybe there could be something there.
If he doesn't get guarded by Miles Turner for a series, he'd have a much better time.
Yeah.
Okay, so Sorbers, there's the kind of 2-minute highlight. It's on him. Really strong defensive player in college. His team was like 25 points better defensively when he was on the floor than when he was off. But he's not like a super explosive shot blocker. He blocks shots, but kind of just does it by staying vertical near the rim. Can close out, but kind of undercuts shooters when he closes out on them. Offensively, wants to develop a shot, has like a good 18-footer, but like does not know what he's doing from three yet, but he shoots them. And so there is a lot of upside. Yeah, if he can develop the shot, there could be a lot of upside here. Defensively, keep him down by the rim.
Yeah.
Him and Chet will be a nice pairing defensively together. He does have a foot injury.
I love that from a 6'10", 265-pound big man.
Yeah, I believe it required surgery.
Okay.
So that might be misinformation on the surgery, but it's not my favorite thing to see from a true big like that.
Any more trades?
Not of any like notable players, just picks moving around.
Okay. What are those trades? Are there any new trades?
We're not here for the rookies. We're here for the trades.
We kind of, we kind of are. Let's see. Vasily Misic was added to the Charlotte trade. He was also acquired by Phoenix in the Nurkic trade when they acquired Nick Richards. He's now going back to Charlotte. So
I was gonna say, is he's flipping teams again? All
So
right.
he's going back. He's going back to Europe essentially.
Yeah,
yeah,
seems like it.
yeah. No new trades since the Pelicans trade. I think you were taking your dinner break when Cedric Coward got traded. The number 11 draft pick got flipped for the number 16 and a future pick.
Mhm.
So Portland now has 16. So Portland is actually the team on the clock.
Oh, okay.
My
This feels
sleeping.
like
The pick is in for Portland. I'm into it. When it's 10 o'clock at night and the draft is finally done. I think I want to see at least to the Heat's pick at 20 because I think that might be Sacramento's by the time we get down there.
What do you
After
think the deal's
that-
going to look like?
It's DeRozan and salary, or DeRozan and 20, DeRozan 420 and matching salary.
You know, the Illinois guard was pretty universally mocked in the top of 14. He was mocked as a lottery pick, but I don't know that he makes sense for Portland. It may just be worth going for him just because of the high talent upside. And like, are you super committed to Scoot and Sharp being your backcourt of the future?
I mean, I would be the two pretty good players.
Yeah, but like, are they that good that you're gonna say I'm gonna try to pick somewhere else to avoid positional overlap?
No, I mean, like you need backups as well. Like that's two guys, and they've moved off of one guard. Drew Holiday, I imagine, is not going to be part of their long-term goals, and so like for a team like this, best player available seems like the pick.
I wanted to comment on OKC's like just doubling down on quadrupling, five-toppling down on defense with this pick. I think we really touch on that. Just going even deeper into that defensive archetype, it's pretty impressive stuff.
Yeah, I mean, if you have a guy like Shea that can carry the offense, there also just aren't that many like super high offensive players that I really like in this range. Like I think I saw Liam. What's Liam's last name? Liam McNeely mocked to them there, and he's a UConn guy who has he's Kevin Huerter the second year in Sacramento, but it keeps getting billed like he's Kevin Huerter the first year. Like he moves around screens really well. He curls, he catches. He like it's the catch and shoot guy, except for he shoots like 29%.
Nate just fucking
32%.
hates rookies. Despises college players. They just literally cannot find a single good thing to say about any of these guys.
I said nice
Jeez,
things about
man.
Jace Richards. I'll say nice things about Danny Wolf, even though he went to U of M, and you know how I feel about U of M guys.
Yeah.
It's getting these guys the right fits. And like, I don't know. Do you like if you're drafting a guy to try to add shooting and he's a 32% 3-point shooter? Is that really a worthwhile pick? I'd rather go defense. So I think it makes sense that OKC just doubled down on defense.
And like maybe they could have been a Jakishonis option, but maybe they prefer Nikola Topic as their like future guard prospect, who you may recall was a highly mocked player before going down injured and missing the entire last season.
Yeah. Whoa.
Let's go.
What happened?
Oh, do you want us to spoil it for you, or you want to see it live on the TV?
If it's about the draft, I don't know who it'd be.
Memphis has pulled another Zach Edey style pick. They have gone for Henson Yang, the Chinese center, or the really big guy.
Really?
Yeah. Oh man, this is
I actually think I saw this guy live. I think that the Chinese team
He-
played the
Sacramento.
Kings
Yeah.
Summer League team, and I saw him. That was a while ago now. Obviously, he was like 17. It wasn't very good, but coming out of the stands, coming out of from the nosebleeds.
Oh my god.
A pretty universally mocked second round pick, whose combine was really solid. A lot of people had him moving up.
Cool.
He doesn't
He
know how to do
won-
it with double-breasted jacket.
What'd you say?
He was fumbling with his jacket. He doesn't know how to do a double-breasted jacket up. His swag is beyond his abilities.
All right, take your pick right now. Under 2 seasons in the NBA or 10 plus years.
Can I bar injuries?
No, that's a part of this.
I was just gonna say, like I am kind of a believer in the talent. I do think he's got it.
How tall is he?
7'1" without shoes.
I'm into it. I'm into it.
He did win Defensive Player in the Year in the Chinese League.
Wait, so was that Portland or was that Memphis?
Oh, you're right. Memphis has traded this pick. It is Portland.
Wow.
So either way,
So
they
it's-
doubled down
it's-
with
It's not a Zach Edey. It's a
Clegane.
Donovan Clingan
Wow,
duplicate.
the third highest Chinese player drafted in the last 35 drafts.
Yi Jiang Liang and Yao Ming.
What's the Yeah, I know who they're working around. What's that guy's name? Meshri, Tom Meshri. Meshri was born
He's
in
the
Harbin.
Russian.
Yeah, no, he's born in Harbin, Manchuria, China. He's the 7th overall pick.
Oh no. So wait, then he'd be the 4th highest because Yi Jiang Liang.
Yeah. But they said last 35 drafts to
Oh.
erase our boy Tom Meshri.
They were
It's
trying
actually
to erase Meshri.
Mesheri. We always say
Mm.
Meshri, but Mesheri.
So Yang's also gotten the like Sabonis, Jokic, Alperen Şengün, like the big who can pass type thing, which I was watching a couple of YouTube breakdowns of him, and they're like, yeah, he passes really well when he sees the guy, but tunnel vision when he starts doing post moves can be a thing. So like, still kind of aging into it. And over the off season, I listened to a number of like really interesting podcasts, kind of deep diving the Chinese league and how, or not Chinese league, but the Chinese national program and how they really try to drill skills into these guys. And it takes away some of their free flowing like adaptation and how they're trying to like dial that back and let guys just more hoop. So I'm interested to see, because we haven't had like a really high level Chinese prospect in a while. I'm in.
I'm in too. Would you guys rather have Yang in Portland or Malik in Phoenix? Just like pick a career. This is their starting spot.
Who is Phoenix's coach these days?
I don't know if they have one yet.
No, they what's
Oh yeah, Jordan Ott.
Yeah. So I was just thinking.
supposed to have been like a really good assistant for a long time.
I was just thinking. I was like, man, I don't know that I fully trust him going into play as a big man under Chauncey Billups. But I don't know anything about the Phoenix coach. I think I would take Phoenix as a better situation.
I think Phoenix is a better situation.
I mean, it's a big trying to get my like feet wet in the league. I know I'm gonna get time. Portland, you've got a Donovan there already, and you've got Ayton, who shouldn't be getting a ton of minutes, but by virtue of the contract alone, like there will be people in the organization that say we are paying him X amount. If we want to trade him, you need to play him. Like it could be a little bit hard for him to get minutes his first couple of years. don't know. What would you guys do?
What's the question?
You asked the question.
I was
curious
phased
about
out for a
that.
second.
Maliwa in Phoenix or Yang in Portland?
I'm
Which one
taking
would you
Yang
rather
in
be?
Portland.
Interesting. I think Mellock has a more clear path to playing time, given that he's got
Exactly.
2 centers ahead of him, but they both really suck. Whereas like Klingon is a starting caliber center
Do
possibly
you
already
think
this
Portland
season.
thinks that though? Because
What,
Aiden's,
that-
I
that
hate to
Klingon's a
break
good
this to
player?
you, Aiden's gonna start. Aiden's starting every game he plays in. Portland doesn't know what's going on.
Can Portland move Aiton?
No.
Who's the Aiton destination?
I saw someone say the Lakers could get Aiden.
That's the one that kind of makes sense. He's
I-
the one. That's the one team whose starting center is worse than DeAndre Ayton.
To be fair,
DeAndre
That
Ayton,
is-
the player that made our top 500. He was good once. He was good for a couple years.
He was. He was the Jokic stopper for 13
Yeah.
days.
So tell me about this this French center the Wolves just took.
oh, did they take John and Branger?
They did.
I've never even heard of this guy. That's how deep we
He's-
are now.
He's similar to the other to the guy that the Bulls took of just like a highly athletic but also kind of raw prospect. Bouncier, more defensive, less offensive, and just kind of more raw. Like it's an NBA level athleticism or body pick, but like kind of scares me.
Fucking sucks at basketball.
No,
Terrible
these
at it. Pick up a different sport.
These are the guys that I actually really like. Is the guys that like, I don't know, they could be out of the league in 2 years, or if they put it all together, they could be really nice. And this is, I actually mocked him here, or I didn't mock him because I didn't do enough to do a full mock, but on my videos I said this was one of the best spots for him to kind of come in and be Gobert's understudy if in the next couple of years and learn how to just protect the basket and maybe do a little rim running.
Athletic 6'10", 7'3" wingspan.
The Ringer highlights him as physically gifted big man who is as raw as sashimi.
9'3" standing reach though.
Yeah.
You can't teach that.
DeAndre
Aaron-
Ayton is 468 on our all-time list.
Which is currently at 475.
Yeah, right behind Joe Barry Carroll and ahead of Gar Hurd. And a couple spots ahead of Terry Dissinger. Check that out. Oh, that's not. Sorry, I was thinking of Tom Mestry. I thought it was all looping back around. Where
No,
did
that would have been a
Mestry
great
end up?
callback. Much higher. We should probably bump Meshry down a bit.
Mestry's 418.
All right, gentlemen, how much further are we going with this? This draft is taking forever.
I
wanna
was
go
gonna
to
get
20?
to I was gonna get to 20 because if
All right.
that's Sacramento's pick, I'd like to be her for it.
The Wizards are back on the clock, and I'm just going to say they could have got the guy that they drafted, Igor, right now.
That was,
And-
the,
and-
Nets. That was the Nets.
The Nets got Igor? Oh,
Yeah.
well. The Nets are up next. They still could have gotten Igor.
Yeah, that's true.
I want the Wizards to take Danny Wolf,
Danny Wolf, Dan Boy.
the like 6'11" point guard power forward that just glides through the lane, can find guys. Not the best offensively, but like, I don't know. You got Sar, you got Johnson.
You got
Yeah,
Sar.
You got Koulibaly. You like, I don't know,
Ah.
either that or Rasheer Fleming, who I'm really sad. He was one of the first guys that I like looked at, and I was just like, I like this guy. This guy is going to be a pick and roll, little like an Obi Toppin-esque bench player, high level little bench guy on good teams. And it seems like his combine went really poorly. And he went from being like a mid-teens to like maybe first round, and I'm sad.
Do you think the Wizards is when the slide for Kasparov can stop?
Do they want another guard? And they just took Trey Johnson in the first.
I mean, when you're the Washington Wizards, though, you kind of need everything that you can get.
Yeah, but like,
Or could they complete it and take what's the French point guard who hasn't been picked yet?
Nolan Trador.
Yeah, could they complete Koulibaly and Sarr and take
with another Frenchie?
With another Frenchie.
I'm in. Just keep drafting the Frenchman. It'll work.
More French guys.
Wasn't that I mean, that was kind of the Pistons strategy. They drafted two French guys in a row and then missed out on the number 1 overall pick and didn't get Wemby.
It's the way you do it.
Yeah. Good old Killian Hayes and Sekou Doumbouya.
Gnarly. That's a gnarly draft record.
Yeah.
All right. This pick is actually interesting because they could go in a lot of different directions.
Hour 2 of the 2025 draft show. They got to speed these picks up, man. God damn.
That's what I'm saying. I think when it was all in one draft. Washington is trading in the number 18 pick to Utah.
Is this the Kasparov guy?
Nope. It is Walter Clayton Jr.
Interesting. Huh. Can Monty McNair make the trade? Can he get this pick?
I like Walter Clayton Jr.
Oh, the this is the guy that the Magic, the people, I'm on Magic Twitter all the time. Orlando really wanted this.
Yeah.
You've antagonized them so much that Twitter's like, yeah, this guy really wants more Orlando Magic.
I have my hand on the pulse of what Orlando wants.
I want to say he was elite 3-point shooter. Let me get those numbers. All right, maybe not elite, but almost 8 attempts per game, 38.6%. Lots of movement, lots of catch and shoot, All-American in this last year. He is a senior, so like another older player, like we've been saying with a lot of these guys. But dude moves well. Dude glides. Shit, who even traded for him now? Utah.
Just what they need, another guard. What do you think of his fit next to their 6 other point guards?
Well, we just said it. We laid it earlier that none of their other point guards are good. So hopefully this one will be a little bit of a change.
I like Keontae George, okay?
You like Keontae George?
I'm a believer.
God, I didn't realize.
What do you like about Keontae George?
I think he's a starting caliber NBA point guard in like a year or two.
That's not something small for you to say because you are incredibly hard on small point guards.
I think he's going to be able to shoot and he's going to be able to pass. And he's like got decent enough size to not get rammed through. God, these guys must be so fucking bored.
Seriously.
Can you imagine you're waiting to see like how the future of your life is going to be, and you're sitting there for 2.25 hours.
Doing
fucking nothing?
What do you guys do when you're like bored and out in public?
Get drunk.
Fair. Do you think they're being served any drinks?
No, because they're all 18 and 19 years old, and
true.
America doesn't have freedom, so they can't drink.
We have no freedom.
The Wizards are getting the 21st pick and 2 seconds for 18.
Oh, Oh, what is Silver doing? He's lost it.
All right. Okay, so looking
And-
at like the Ringers draft, Kasparis was at 7.
Yeah.
He's still on the board.
Yeah, he's in total free fall.
Danny Wolf, 13 is still on the board.
They were high on Wolf. That's a little bit of a misnomer.
So who, like, where are the reaches coming from?
I mean, Yang at 40,
Yeah.
which I do think that's their big board, and I do think they just didn't update with some of the most recent information because he's like 31 on a lot of other stuff.
I do like Kasparis. I've seen some stuff from him. Can the
He-
Kings get this guy? Please, please, please.
I mean, he reminds me of Topic, like, but that like he is Pat's first point guard with a lot of playmaking chops out there. He does push the ball well.
Surprising to see the NBA come into agreement with me on a guy like this.
Clayton?
Kasparis?
Yeah, Kasparis, yeah.
You don't like him as much.
No.
How come?
No, I thought he was gonna be way overdrafted. Like this player type, I just don't like. You're just locking yourself into a bench player. Like if things go well for him.
What's the issue with him? You have to describe this to me.
He's not going to be able to create his own offense well enough, I think.
Okay.
I mean, the high end comp is Josh Giddey. If you're just kind of thinking that.
No.
I think he's faster and a better ball handler than Giddey, but like if you gave Josh Giddey Kyrie Irving's handles, what does that really do for you?
Nothing. If your passing doesn't matter if you can't create an advantage to force the defense to react for you to take, for you to make something out of your passing. And Josh Giddey's like one of the best passers in the NBA. Like that's the high end. Like he's one of the best passers in the NBA, and he still can't do that much offensively because he can't create an advantage.
Update from Shams. It's now 3 second-round picks. The number 43 this year,
Okay.
and then seconds in 2031 and 2033.
Now that changes everything.
Oh yeah. Yeah, it's 3 second-round picks. Too much to overpay to move up 3 spots.
Is it which team is it that just like weirdly has no second-round picks? Is it Sacramento? Do you guys just have like?
We don't have any picks, man. We have no picks.
I mean,
I think we
Phoenix
have a lot of picks overall, like a lot of second rounders overall.
Phoenix had no second-round picks until they traded Durant for 5 of them.
Yeah.
Maybe that's what it is.
We have our first next year, 2 seconds, our first in 2027, and San Antonio's pick, unprotected.
All right. Well,
2 more seconds.
While we're waiting for this pick that seems to be taking forever, Atlanta Hawks guys picking up Kristaps Porzingis. Is KP washed at this point? Can KP play for the Hawks? How dangerous is Atlanta going to be next year? Are they actually going to make the play-in or
win
playoffs?
70 games if Kristaps is healthy. Now, I've actually
For real.
when Kristaps is healthy, he is one of like the 30 best players in basketball. There is a very rare archetype of player that defends the rim and hits threes. And I mean, look at how Holmgren dominated the finals in that game 7. He's a much better offensive player than Holmgren is because you can give it to him in the post, and he's a better shooter. Dyson Daniels, Trae Young, Jalen Johnson, Reese Shea, and Kristaps, like if you're getting 60 games of at least from all those guys, like you could win probably 38 and make the play and be the 4 seeds or be the 6 seeds. You'll make the playoffs, and then there's not gonna be a ton of competition.
And they're not that expensive. They can use the non-tax mid-level, so they can kind of, they can continue to add to this. They could add, Ty Jerome or Nickeil Alexander Walker or, one of these other guys, if depending on how they rank among non-tax mid-level hierarchy of teams, like they can continue to add to this team. And I agree with Aaron's analysis of Porzingis. Like when he is healthy, like this is an absolute difference maker. And if a Kongwu as well can continue to take another step forward, especially as a shooter, like you could even maybe a Kongwu is your starting center when Porzingis is out, and you can even play him at the 4 next to Porzingis if the shooting's good enough, and then you become like a kind of a good defensive team. Porzingis has the defensive impact that people think Dyson Daniels has.
I mean, Daniels and Kristaps, they make each other better exponentially, like next to each other, because you get the best of both worlds.
Well, and the reach of Risache and Johnson, and provided he comes back healthy, like that's now 4 guys who have a positive defensive impact in the system around Trae Young, and it's not being smushed by like a lack of shooting because KP can shoot, Okongwu is developing as a shooter, and then Muhammad Gay, who came on late in the season for Atlanta. I really liked what I saw out of him. I think they're going to be able to have this like pretty solid, multi-big lineup, allowing for some of these injuries, being able to kind of rotate through. I'm interested also because there's more kind of good defensive big men in the draft in this range. What they might be able to get at 22.
Who's this French guy that Nets just took?
Did they take Torrey?
French. Yeah.
They took our boy Nolan.
You like him? All right, Dylan, why is he good? Nate, why does he suck? Hit me.
Dylan, give me the high side.
I'll give you a obscure take, which is something that I like about him, that I've just discovered from seeing him get drafted. For some reason, every NBA player's girlfriend looks exactly the same. I don't know what it is. They all just go for the exact same archetype. And seeing him get drafted, seeing the people that were around him, seeing him embrace his partner, she doesn't look like every single other NBA player's girlfriend, which tells me this guy has a unique perspective that you don't see out of young NBA point guards.
I'm interested.
And that bodes well for him.
It's like Moneyball, where it's like, he's got a ugly girlfriend, no confidence.
Is that it for the high side?
Yes, this is for the high side. That was a compliment.
Yeah.
Okay.
A unique insight.
I mean, you once again have another guy who doesn't really shoot threes that well, but also does not play defense, but is one of the fastest players out there, like Speedy Claxton, young Patty Mills.
But with a lot more size than Patty Mills.
Yeah,
it's 6'5" with a 6'8" wingspan. That's gives you something that Patty Mills doesn't.
Yeah. So just a lightning quick wing player could be really fun in a fast up tempo offense. I actually really like the pick for Brooklyn because he's another one of those guys who in this range could be a bust, could just wash out of the league. But if he does, like there's a high upside, there's a low floor and a high upside right here. And I think that's what you should be going for if you're Brooklyn and you have these 5 picks.
Yeah. I mean, like this is Killian Hayes, except you're not taking him at number 3, you're taking him at number 20.
Exactly.
I kind of love that the Nets are going to use all these picks. Instead, I think everyone looked at that as like they're not picking 5 times. They're going to consolidate this. No, just take 5 rookies. This roster isn't good enough for it to matter.
Draft and stash a few of them.
Yeah. Take some swings.
Trade Cam Johnson and trade Cam Thomas. No one named Cam on this roster next year.
Yeah, Cam Thomas is a free agent. They could just let him straight out walk.
No, you got to re-sign him and trade him. Never let assets walk.
I mean,
unless it's Cam Thomas, then you can.
Is he an asset if you pay him? Is he immediately a negative asset?
Yeah,
that's
maybe
that's a guy that you let go.
Figure it out.
I saw something like 4 years 100. No way.
If
Who,
4 years
who has that
40,
cap
then we'll be
space?
talking.
For 40? No, because seriously, it's like if Cam Thomas was your fifth guy, you feel pretty good about that.
Your fifth guard, you mean?
Fifth guard. All right, the final
are the
pick of
Heat
our
gonna
watch
do?
party.
Guys,
Come on, one last big move before we log off.
And now we know for next. I mean, we knew this. This is going to be a 3-hour thing.
I don't know. I feel like these picks have taken a lot longer.
I usually, when we watch the draft, I only get to about pick 20, and then I do some other stuff because I'm like, and I'm done. I'm done. Especially if I'm really actually watching it and I have to listen to all their like just pointless interviews over and over and over again.
We are 2.5 hours in, and there have been 20 picks. That's 7.5 minutes a pick.
Yeah. Well, it's 5. You get 5 a pick. Then it's like, oh, the pick is in, and they go to commercial. And they're like, come eat at Chili's. Here's a Chevy, and buy this car. And then Adam Silver comes out, but you have to get the ad. The ad.
No. We got to trim this down. The pick is announced exactly at the 5-minute mark. You have till the 4-minute and 58-second mark to tell Silver your pick. He's standing at the podium.
It's not the teams, it's the NBA that's like, okay, the pick is in. Okay, now let's go to commercial.
Let's have Stephen A. talk about this for a little bit.
I paid $25 to watch this draft. Like, I don't want to be watching ads for 2 hours when I already paid $25. The NBA billed me for my league pass the day after Game 7, which means I'm paying $25 just for this draft. And now you've got me watching ads as well. I've got to sit here for 2.5 hours.
Dylan's going to crash out on live. Start breaking stuff. I get it. Well, it looks like this is not going to be a Kings pick unless there's a trade that's going to happen. Any updates?
Checking Shams right now. No updates.
Isn't that the most Kings thing possible, though, to just do nothing? Just take this terrible roster into the season?
I think that honestly it looks like that's what we're doing. I've seen a lot of things kind of floated out there, but I don't know, man.
As Bulls East, it's an imperative that you do not make any moves until it's too late.
Hey, maybe you guys could continue Bulls East by getting the Illinois point guard.
Okay. Yeah, close enough.
Yeah. He's from Illinois. He's like Josh Giddey. Just Bulls East.
There's the Heat guy. Kasparis.
They picked him?
Yeah. They took him.
So it's still possible. It's still in the running. You just have to work out the offseason trade. All right. Out of the top 20, who's the guy that you feel like you liked the most but is now in the worst situation?
Gotta bring up which of these guys went to which fucking team.
Honestly, I really don't. So Walter Clayton's in Washington?
Yeah.
No.
No. He's Utah.
That's my pick. Anyone that went to Utah. Yeah.
Edgecombe and Philly's kind of rough.
Yeah.
Like I don't love that. Con Knuppel, who I said I was high on and now has been drafted into the worst situation possible. That's not good either.
That's a bad one. Because you like him if he's like he plays well off of good pieces. But you don't he can't he's not going to create for himself at the NBA level.
Yeah.
To the point where you could save Charlotte.
Murray Boyle's like my sleeper guy who ended up getting picked high and then went to a team where he doesn't fit. That's rough as well.
My guy's Igor.
I
think he is a good connective piece and would help run a team, but there's no one in Brooklyn that I really want him setting up. They need a guy who
he can spray to Cam Johnson after
Johnson won't be there.
I mean, he's still there now.
They're making 5 draft picks this year. They're not going to bring back Cam.
He's still there. They could have traded him in the offseason, and he's still there. So probably going to start the season on this team.
I mean, it's the offseason has just begun. There's time, but just okay, cool. He can kick to Cam Johnson. Great. Who else? It's
He can kick to the French point guard who can't shoot.
Yep, can kick to that guy.
He can kick to
Nick Claxton.
Nick Claxton for an alley-oop. If Claxton
Clowney.
plays. Can kick to Noah Clowney. Didn't he shoot like 29% from 3? Like that's promising.
All right, guys.
Promising is about all we got. All right. Aaron, where can the people find you?
Possible Chairs on TikTok, Possible Chairs on Twitter, my Patreon for our all-time list. Draft watch parties for 2.5 hours every year.
Dylan?
Every week on the Hoops Temple podcast when there's anything to talk about.
You can find me on TikTok, Nate_Hoops Temple. You can email the show, hoopstemple@gmail.com. Love to hear from you guys. Although, if the NBA keeps making these draft picks take so long, well, I won't be hearing from you for a bit because I'm going to bed. It's way too long.
Yeah, draft lottery party.
Like a 20-ounce vodka Red Bull, like 2 hours ago, and I'm exhausted.
Yeah, it's 10:30 over there.
It's too tired. Thank you, Meryl. Have a good night. Thanks for sticking with us.
Catch you, boys.
See ya.